Welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka The Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part. So make sure you're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe or ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever. Again, if you'd like to support the channel, head on over to TheIndianJesus.com for your very own official merch. Get yourself a jacket only at TheIndianJesus.com. Guys, we do also have a Discord server that is absolutely free to join. It's like a giant group chat. It is a great place to meet people 24/7. We are in there hanging out. And after every single, like I said, it is absolutely free to join. That's what it's really about, guys. You know, we got the show here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but connecting with people in the Discord, that is what this is really all about. It is free. Definitely go and join. Again, it is absolutely free. However, if you are a member of this channel here on YouTube, you can scroll right below the video, hit that join button. There's a few different tiers here, but it starts at just $2.99 a month. Gets you members only live streams here on YouTube and all that other good stuff. Plus, it opens up the full Discord server. Like I said, it is free to join, but that gets you the free chat channel. There is plenty more, including the after party channel. So as soon as we are done here, we are headed over there, and we don't have to worry about any YouTube censors, and you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. It is a good time. Definitely come and join us. Shout out to King Nirvana. Welcome to the party. How are you? Purposely did that. Welcome. So this is gonna be a cringe fest of all cringe fests, and I am the subject. So what we're going to be doing is something that I've been teasing since I became the Indian Jesus. Many of you will know that I was not always the Indian Jesus, and I had other podcasts. I had a book podcast, but before that, I had an audio-only podcast that I had a co-host, and it was the Aw Really podcast. It was like AWE, like, oh, really? Like, that was the play on words. And it was me and my roommate here. And look at that hair. Shout out to Indy Bam. Welcome to the party. Well, there's 3 of these episodes. So if you guys like it, we can definitely come back for more. But before we dive into that, I figured let's give you guys a little bit of context of who I was, where I was, what was going on at that time. A couple short videos just to give you a peek into who I was at that time, what we were all about. And then the podcast episode itself was called Trumped Up, where he and I were Bernie Bros to the max. And we brought in somebody who early on was on the Trump train and never got off. And he may or may not show up tonight. I did send him the link, but we kind of lost touch over the years. But good guy, and turns out he was right. So yeah, I got a couple of little short videos here. Let's check out this stuff. This was 2016, I think. Yeah, 2016, went to the Reason Rally in Washington, D.C. It was basically like an atheist meeting convention type thing. No, it doesn't really matter. But this was our way to get everybody to, hey, check us out. Nobody did. But on the way. We are on the way to the Reason Rally. If you are there, you can see our totem.
If you phone, I got to carry the totem all the way over there. No big deal.
Hey,
typical.
Hey, he was asleep while I was taping up that whole shit in case it rained. I forgot about that. So I don't want to hear it.
Always an excuse.
Anyway, so that's me and him just in like I said, DC. Again, just a couple clips to give you a picture of who I was.
You know what? I take that back. Even if you are voting for Trump.
Oh, no, this wasn't, whatever.
I want you still to go out there and vote for Trump, fine, whatever. But vote Democrat down the rest of the bill. At least in New Jersey, I don't know about the rest of your states, but president is not the only thing that we are voting for today. That's very important. Bernie Sanders said it best. The revolution does not end with him. It only started with him, and we need to go out there and put the people that represent us in the government so that we don't find ourselves in this shitty situation with the lesser of two evils. I don't want to do this ever again. So please go out, vote all the way down the ballot, and make sure we have a somewhat decent government.
So that was right before I went out and voted. Did I leave that one? Let's see. Should I? No, it's not there. Okay, one more, because I want to see it. Where I had voted for Miss Hillary Clinton. And where was it? It was easy to find. Hold on. I got it right here. Hold up. Wait a minute. Don't stop. Get it. Almost there. Oh, boom.
All right, guys. It was that simple. I mean, obviously, if you work a 9 to 5, I'm sure.
Hey, shout out. Oh, where is it? There we go. Carl's Frosted Tips. What a nerd. Yep, that is what tonight is all about. And of course, a treat for Morty. Thank you, sir. A member for 4 months. Appreciate you to know. And thank you, sir.
All right, guys. It was that simple. I mean, obviously, if you work a 9 to 5, I'm sure the lines were a little worse, but it is like 11 o'clock right now. I just went in and there was no line. Well, there was one person in front of me. I was there for
Look at that lineup,
about
bro.
15 minutes. Cast my vote. Didn't even have to show a license or anything. They had my name.
Bro, did you hear yourself? They did. That's not a good thing. Now, I made a big stink about this election, not checking IDs, but I was like, oh, yeah, you don't have to check an ID. That's a good thing. Shout out to Dixon Cider. Welcome. That is a very ignorant, short-haired lutch, fresh off of his vote for Hillary goddamn Clinton. And I was so scared of this that I did not vote again until last month. Or not last month, this election. But yeah, I didn't catch that.
Went in and there was no line. Well, there was one person in front of me. I was there for about 15 minutes. Cast my vote. Didn't even have to show a license or anything.
That's a bad thing, bro.
They had my name. And that's it. And I have now done my part. That's all.
And again, I was 26 or whatever. I don't know. I'm 35 now, so do the math. It was 2016. But that was the first time I'd ever voted. So I felt like I did something.
All I can do for now, and I all I can hope is that you guys do the same. Please do the same. It's just that important.
You can even hear how soy and fucking beta might. Oh, I hope you guys do the same thing. Go out and fucking vote. Let's go. You know what I mean? Was there one more? Oh, there was one more that I wanted. The hat, the gauges, all that stuff. I don't even remember what this is, but again, just a little amuse bouche, if you will. Oh.
Say hello.
A little Morty. Yo,
you guys
look how black Morty's face
are
is.
there, all really people.
Look how black his face is compared to now. Holy moly! His legs and everything. That is crazy. Shout out to Steven. Welcome to the party. Indeed, I was a dumb ass punk. Ain't no two ways about it. But that is why I'm doing this, because I think it's important to be able to look back and hopefully again, I don't like to go in completely blind, so I'm not going to just go. I listened to it a little bit, but I don't remember my actual opinions on the issues being that much different. It was more about how I was just wrong about how things worked, what the media was saying, all those kinds of things. Hey, shout out to Trey Williams. Welcome to the party. Said wishing all the growth and a super chat. Thank you, sir. That gets us one on our way to the Swogo. Make sure you check out the Swogo. And of course, very, very much appreciated. And Trey, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you, sir. Anyone, sir, are you saying even more? He's going to come. Yeah, Morty's always been a conservative. He's always been based. I was the beta soy boy guy, so don't take it out on Morty.
We want to say hello. Hopefully you guys enjoyed ARP 33 Baby Steps with my boy Rich. If not, go check that out. It came out March 1st. I know it is past the
That's different, right? I sound different now, right?
15th, and no new episode has come out. But as always, scheduling is a bitch. But I do have something planned. Guests that you may remember. I'll leave that a secret so you guys
Shout out to Darshawn McAway.
have something to look forward to. But I am recording that on this coming Tuesday, and then it'll be out as soon as I can, as soon as possible. You know how this shit goes. It's hard to do this now. I'm on my own, and I'm doing my best. And I promise you that will show in the product. So I will see you guys very soon.
March 18th, 2018. That was right after the co-host that I should have kept open. He dipped out. He just dipped out and he was like, nah, I'm not doing this. Yeah, it was tough to, like we had this thing together and then he was just like, I can't do this and whatever. Shout out to Guam Tag. Welcome to the party. I can't wait to watch you tear about this beta libtard. Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And that's the thing is that Andrew, who is the Trump guy here, he's a nice guy. And so he's not looking to like dunk and anything. He was just looking to to give his opinion. And I think we were, pretty gracious, but we were just so wrong. Cold frosted dips. Oh my goodness. Thank you. So was your boyfriend filming this? No, thank you very much. That was on the exact same laptop that I started as the Indian Jesus. Jerry said, glad you lost the flat brim ball cap. I mean, I think that's the best way to wear a hat, but that's why I don't wear hats anymore. But yeah, times they are changing, right? All right. So shout out again to Carl for matching, and as well as Guamtech. Hey, all three of you. Thank you so much. Co-sponsors of the stream before we even started 1/5 of the way to our swole goal. Thank you so very, very much. Oh my goodness. Thank you guys. So, all right, let's dive into this. This was so it is audio only. That there wasn't a video on, but I'm here, and the idea here is again that this was I can't remember. I know this was posted on YouTube August 2016. But I believe it was recorded before that. Like I believe this was we recorded a bunch of episodes and then I put a bunch of them up on YouTube. But I could be mistaken. But it was it was before people were taking Trump seriously at all. So shout out to the sponsors. Thank you. Let's dive right in. As always, guys, if you can't hear the video, please do let me know. Check out this opening, bro. Believe nothing. Really? Oh, really? All right. Welcome back. Oh, we got to speed that up. Are your trusty co-hosts. We have myself, Lutch.
And what's good, pod people? It's your boy Connie. Sorry. Got a little overzealous there.
All right, Conover. He's a little excited. But with good reason, we have a special episode for you this month. You've obviously heard something about Donald Trump, regardless of your interest level in politics.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on the news or, in the media somehow 24/7 for since June, since his damn campaign started.
And so again, so far, obviously that's me talking, and then the big guy is the co-host. But as we thoroughly covered in our last episode, that everything you see on the news is basically bullshit. So no matter what channel is your favorite, MSNBC, Fox News, CNN, Al Jazeera, whatever, you've seen Donald Trump getting shit on relentlessly while somehow continuing to rise in the polls.
So what we wanted to do was just find out, has America gone batshit crazy, or is the media just doing what they do? Unfortunately, this is pertinent information, and it's info that's just not presented to us. So we brought a Trump supporter into the All Really Pod to see if there's a way to bridge this
All
gap.
Really Pod. Today we have a good... Before we jump into that, we got another one. Indy Bill said, oh, nope. I am the sole sponsor. Wait, that 225. Thank you, sir. Said, screw you, everybody else. Word up. Thank you, sir. Our new sponsor.
To bridge this gap.
Yes, today we have a good friend, Andrew Bourne, who is a Trump supporter. And he's here to convince us that the media has completely gone awry once again.
Yeah, right.
And that we, being convinced that all Trump supporters are batshit crazy as well, or racist, or something, that we are wrong, and that there is a position to hold where you support Trump and you have actual reasoning and rationale and logic behind that.
We shall see.
So I'm a little skeptical, but we were skeptical, we were smug, we were like, there's no way this guy is gonna have anything valuable to say. I want to be informed, so we'll see what he has to say, and we'll see how we feel about it when it's over.
But as always, before we get to that,
oh yeah, so this is I forgot the structure of it. We did like a little intro, and then we cut to the
if you
actual
want to contact the All Really podcast, there's a few ways you can do that. To listen to us, we are
throw this up there for you to depending on more
best on iTunes. About that, that's
and your search high.
All Really Pod with your
Come on.
yes.
One other thing we want to say, an announcement that this episode I did make the and I
Guilty too.
that'll
Jesus
be,
Christ, guys, get to the show.
Andrew Bourne about supporting Donald Trump for president.
All right, let's
All
go.
right, we have with us Andrew Bourne. He's 29, has a degree in physical education from Wesley College. He is an avid Trump supporter, but I know him as an intelligent, rational, well-informed member of the public. So
my
I brought
God.
him here to see how does someone of your rationale get so trumped up.
This is how I started, and I thought this was being gracious.
I mean, why don't you give us a little rundown on your political history, as it were?
All right, basically, I've only been old enough to vote for the last, I don't know, couple elections. So,
Same.
Yeah.
2008, I voted for McCain. 2012, I voted for Romney. I'm a registered Republican. That's basically.
All right, so you're pretty
yeah.
much
And you guys know us.
so you're pretty much run of the mill, straight down the straight down the board.
Pretty much
Republican.
everything that you guys are not, right?
I think we would.
Well, I guess
I was gonna say we'll get there. Yeah.
So
We will get there. Shout out to Guam Tech 3 shares. Very, very, very much appreciated. You guys know how much that helps the channel, whether you think anybody's going to click on your link or not. Just by telling YouTube, I want other people to see this, they will show it to other people. Thank you, sir.
I think we would.
well, I guess
I was
we'll
gonna
see.
say we'll
I
get
guess
there.
we'll
Yeah.
So because we are both Bernie supporters.
Yeah.
So definitely something we have in common is we don't like how the system is being run right now, and we're looking for something very
I
different.
think we can definitely agree on that, right?
But
Don't even get me started on this.
Oh, we'll get you started.
but we're looking in different places. So how do we both have the same question, or all three of us have the same question?
Being who best to run the country.
And we say Bernie, and you say Trump. What brings you there?
Trump. All right. Well, let's.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
Basically, to start this off, I'm just going to say what most of the people feel, and I feel as well. But there's some things I do disagree with him on. I'm not 100% behind him, but I think he's the best guy that we have right now. First of all, like Bernie Sanders, he does speak his mind. All right, I have a lot of respect for that. He tells off other politicians. I mean, you saw what happened to Jeb Bush. He,
Nobody
he's
likes
pretty
Jeb
much
Bush.
6 feet under now.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was after the low energy Jeb Bush moment.
I had forgotten about him until about 10 minutes ago.
He's angry, just like a lot of us are. Fed up with
Mhm.
what's going on.
Hand raised.
He's
snaps.
he's tough. He's tough. He's tough. He's funny. I mean, that helps too sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
He's not politically correct, which I love. Like, for example, like some of the schools we don't do the pledge allegiance anymore because we're afraid of offending somebody. This is
Because it
America,
says
for
under
Christ's
God.
sake, isn't it? I mean, come on. I'm sick of it.
And this was also I think I was a little bit more outside of that militant atheist phase, but not completely. I still would get mad over things like the phrase under God being in the Pledge of Allegiance. Still don't think it needs to be there, but I'm not going to get mad about it.
This is
Because it
America,
says
for
under
Christ's
God.
sake, isn't it? I mean, come on. I'm sick of it. And he's the guy that comes out and says exactly what some people can't say. And he's out there in front of the camera every day and he says it. He's pro Second Amendment, which I like a lot. Every time there's a shooting now, that's ISIS related or something. How many times do I hear Obama come out and say, "Oh, well, let's be tolerant now. I think we have been tolerant."
Yep. Rontek said, this difference in voice from then to now is that you sound way more confident and less childish. There's something about going MAGA that just mans you up. I don't know if it's that or if it's just getting more comfortable, but absolutely. I was saying, I don't know if you got here when we were watching those videos,
And oh yeah, I do have a special one for anybody who stays till the end. But we were watching some videos from back in that era, and I was saying exactly that. Like I sounded so sheepish, and I guess I found my voice.
Pissed off. Like it's, I don't know. It's a lot about anger, and he's saying the right things. If he does these right things, we'll find out. But right, I'm just telling you, front and center how this guy comes off to some people, and he's a pretty smart guy too. So he might not sound it, but I think he is.
I wish this was on video because I know for a fact that in that moment, I gave my co-host one of those. Oh, Jesus.
Sometimes he doesn't
He's
sound
made
like
his money somehow.
Yeah.
He definitely has made a lot of money, and the question is that whether the way he's made that money and how that speaks to his character, what does that say, how does that speak to his character? I mean, so this is just me, he defrauded these people and he went through bankruptcy, so he must be bad. Yeah, he's a successful businessman, but I feel like if he were to be my president, then I would be working
balanced out
for Trump and at a Trump corporation. And I don't think podcast hosts come very high on the list of priorities of the CEO of that company.
Can you rephrase that?
I mean, I just feel like he does. I
didn't even understand what the fuck I just said.
Believe that he cares about me. When I listen to Bernie Sanders speak, I feel like he cares about me. And this is what I mean. Back then, the perception was, Trump is transparently saying, I don't necessarily care about individual, not directly, but I don't care about individual people. I'm not going to come to your house and make you breakfast. I care about what's good for the country. Well, everybody else doesn't even have that. They're just saying things. And I believed it. Me. I just feel like he does. I don't believe that he cares about me. When I listen to Bernie Sanders speak, I feel like he cares about me and my issues and the fact that I care about other people's issues around me.
I think he does.
Oh, I'm interested to see what you say. But again, I just got to put a period on that. How ignorant can you be? How ignorant can you be?
And the fact that I care about other people's issues around me.
I think he does. Okay. He doesn't need to be doing this. What's the point? He's a billionaire. His life is fine. He's got his family with his kids and everything like that. They're living in paradise. He doesn't have to be doing this. So I do think he does care about the country, and I think he really does want to do something about it.
I haven't heard that perspective. That's interesting.
Shout out to Carl's Frosted Tips. One more game. Thank you. Said prayers for New Orleans or New Orleans. F Islam. I called it. You did indeed. And I'm telling you guys, they are coming for us all. You Christians are part of the secular world in their eyes. It's only gonna get worse. Thank you, sir. And sorry, Indie Film, but that makes you, Carl, the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Guantek said, ooh, I'm starting to understand how people can vote for the Dems at this point. I just feel like they care about me. Ugh, it makes me want to vomit that people still think they give a shit about you.
Bingo.
Yeah, the propaganda is good enough that if you are not being skeptical, if you're not in the position of assuming everybody is lying to you and just taking the things that you can personally verify or have reason to, what I mean, then it makes sense. It can make sense if you just want to put it together, but it's not real. It's all lies. Shout out to Dean Soup. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Happy 2025. We're going through this podcast of when I was a Bernie bro. And let's just hear that pathetic line one more time.
His life is fine. He's got his.
Wait.
I listen to feel like he does. I don't believe that he cares about me. When I listen to Bernie Sanders speak, I feel like he cares about me and my issues and the fact that I care about other people's issues around me.
I think he does. Okay. He doesn't need to be doing this. What's the point? He's a billionaire. His life is fine. He's got his family with his kids and everything like that. They're living in paradise. He doesn't have to be doing this. So I do think he does care about the country, and I think he really does want to do something about it.
I haven't heard that perspective. That's interesting.
I mean, so we gotta. All right, shout out again to Carl, but we gotta make a drinking game out of this. So every time we agree with Andrew saying something in response to me, not just saying something we agree with, but I say something and then he corrects me and we now agree with him. We'll give it a dilly dilly. Trump gave up everything and literally almost his life for this. What more can you give?
Does want
I
to do
must say,
something about it.
I haven't heard that perspective. That's interesting.
I mean, I do agree with that. I think I personally think, take it or leave it. What do I know? But I personally think there's a nothing, bro. You ain't no shit. Personally think, take it or leave it. What do I know? But I personally think there's a level, there's an aspect of power to it. You get to be a Trump of sorts in real estate and whatever you're doing, and the bottom line doesn't matter anymore. Making money isn't as exciting as it once was when you have billions and billions of dollars. What's the difference between $4 billion and $5 billion?
For real.
So obviously now I understand that doesn't make any sense, because the argument of, well, why would he do this? And everything that's happened even since then, of course, doesn't make sense. But what do we, let's try to take the opinions, because again, these were pretty mainstream opinions. And I'm curious as to your guys' perspective on how out there I was. Definitely in terms of distance from being for Trump or against Trump. Obviously, that's night and day. In this, I was a never Trumper. I couldn't even fathom, which is why the guy was here. But again, in terms of the way I looked at things, does it make sense that, like, oh, okay, I know I have a good idea of who Lutch is now, based on who 8 years ago Lutch was, what he was saying. That makes sense, or does it make absolutely no sense? And it's just believing the wrong stupid shit. Shout out to Taco Baco. Welcome to the party. So the idea of comparing Trump to Bernie when it comes to caring about the people, I was in the opposite mindset as you at the time, pro-Trump. But it's so crazy to look back after 8 years of both. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's insane. I'm hoping I'm not rendered speechless throughout this whole thing. Luckily, it is mine, so we don't have to worry about any copyright. Welcome to the party. Billions of dollars. What's the difference between $4 billion and $5 billion? $1 billion.
Stupid.
Actually, we're also going to take a drink anytime I hit myself with the stupid button. We won't stop the show, but
I guess
$1 billion. But my point was, once you become this real estate mogul and you have all of this money and all this real estate and all these assets and all this land and vacation homes and everything, it's not enough to just sit back and just enjoy it. That's not the kind of person Trump is. That's not how. Exactly. You become a Trump, a mogul of whatever it is, to sit back. You're always, searching for more, and I don't know that that's his. I'm not saying that he doesn't care, but I do think that that's part of the reason why. Based on what? The Young Turks told you? He stepped into this knowing he could. He has the money, and he has the personality, clearly, that attracts people, not only who would otherwise vote for somebody else, but otherwise wouldn't vote at all.
That's a big thing, actually, that I was reading about. Was that his campaign relies heavily on those people that tend not to vote usually.
Right. I mean,
so it's just that those are just the numbers.
Most people simply don't vote. So all you have to do is grab up those people and give them a reason to vote instead of not vote. Not even which is easier. Right. So it's almost like when you see that that's happening, maybe there's something behind it.
It doesn't even have to be good.
Exactly. It's easier to. And there's the code. Well, it doesn't have to be a good reason, but it's a reason. Which is easier.
Your reason doesn't even have to be good.
Exactly. It's easier to say there's a reason to go from there's no reason to vote to there's some reason to vote than it is to go there's a reason to vote for this guy,
right? But
there's a better reason to vote for this guy.
Absolutely.
So it's easy to go from I'm not going to vote to I could hop on Trump. Yeah, I could hop on what Trump's saying. Yeah, I completely agree, Carl. We needed the last 4 years to prove Trump was right. I absolutely agree. I think the best thing that happened because of the fact that we are now here, and I mean, unless something happens in the next 2, 3, next 3 weeks, the fact that the world didn't fall, the fact that Trump was already doing COVID stuff, so the fact that the world didn't fall and explode, that was the best case scenario. Because again, Trump was very relevant in politics over the last 4 years. So not only did he get his 4 years, he was relevant over the last 4 years, and now he's going to get another 4 years. And then, the years after that, he'll be freshly out of office. Whereas if he had won, then there would be, nothing to compare it to, which is what Carl was talking about. And then he'd just be done. And it would be too easy to spin the narrative like, oh, we survived the 8 years and now we want to go back to normal and anything but Trump. I think there would be a lot of people who would be on the anything but Trump. Let's get back to normal train. If he had won, if this was somebody else going into office this month. King Nirvana said, I felt off about Trump in the beginning for reasons that the establishment made me weary about all politicians. But in time, he sort of proved himself to be different. Yep. Indeed. And that speaks to our poll here. Were you always a Trump fan? Yes. No, he won me over in time. I used to like him, but not anymore. Or I never liked him. Let me know. Like I said, for me, it's less of finding out that Trump was right, but more that the old liberal class of Dems have been horribly wrong. 100%. 100%. And that's something I think that we'll see is, again, the theme that I have. Just because I was a never Trumper then and I have a MAGA hat in my frame now doesn't mean I flip-flopped and changed and this, all of that. It's an understanding of, the things that I want didn't align with the things I was pushing for. And now they do. It's a much harder move to go from there to say, okay, well, if if that works for you, then listen to what Bernie has to say, because he actually has 40 years in office and he doesn't have to put on this character to do, he doesn't have to do this dance to attract you. He has real substance that can attract you.
Thoughts?
Well,
Yeah.
Well, he
Wait, was that about Bernie? Shout out to blowing up Teslas, I guess. Was I saying that about Bernie?
And he listen to what Bernie has to say.
Yeah.
He actually has 40 years in office, and
Again, not a good. I don't know why I thought that was a good thing. 40 years in office is a negative thing.
he doesn't have to put on this character to do, he doesn't have to do this dance.
Oh, you mean like the millionaires and the billionaires, and then as soon as you make $1 million, the billionaires. Like, oh my God, man. I'm probably gonna get more mad than anybody here. Guamtex, I was neutral about Trump at first, but warmed up to him after the first year. I'm also a contrarian when it comes to the media and never trusted them when they made him out to be a mustache man from World War II. Good for you. I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Matthew King, welcome to the party. So being MAGA nowadays is more being anti-establishment and less about being pro-Trump. Absolutely agree. Now you'll hear almost the exact same sentiment out of Jake Uger's mouth as of late. But I was just watching something from Stephen Michael David. David? I don't know, the guy that AJW always talks about. And he was talking about how, it seems like, because everybody's talking about, the Jenks grifting, maybe, but it seemed like the election just completely broke his brain, and he just doesn't know what to do at all, like with his life. So I don't know. We will see, but you're absolutely right. Welcome to the party. And he said 40 years in office and accomplished what for the common man besides making himself rich?
stupid.
That's stupid for me. But again, I'm glad that this is recorded, and I'm glad that we're able to revisit this 8 years later. I really think this is pretty cool, man.
Attract you. He has real substance that can attract you.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, he well, don't they consider him kind of like an outsider as well?
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
the way,
Yeah.
so, and they both are.
Yeah.
Trump is a different way because he's a complete outsider.
They're
And Bernie-
polar opposites for the same reason.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. The thing is that I think
Are they though? Like that was the line that they gave people like me to be like, okay, well, we definitely understand that you're anti-establishment, but like you could go anti-establishment Trump or you're going to go anti-establishment Bernie. How is Bernie anti-establishment? Outside of he's not anti-establishment. He's just not establishment because he's not in their club. He wants to be. Taco said the difference is, I think the Dems were horribly wrong in paving the way for someone like Trump with their bullshit elitist attitudes towards real issues that led to extremist positions seeming better. Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to Not BLT. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Good to see you. At least I'm glad you can look at this and admit your opinion changed. Some people just lock in and double down. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people who would scrub this from the internet. Now, obviously, it's not part of the, it's unlisted because I don't want it screwing with my, screwing with my analytics and stuff. But this is real, and I have nothing to hide. I'm not. I'm not proud of the ideas that I held, but I'm proud of the fact that I was willing to put them out there, and I am now even more proud that despite having put them out there, I'm willing to continue to believe that nothing is impossible, believe nothing except that anything is possible, including that Trump could be the best president for America. But thank you. Dylan, so would you guys do a reunion show just to recap the last 8 years? We're not really, and I mean, I would, but I mean that I don't really know what that would what because we all agree now, so I don't really know what there would be to say. But I mean, it'd be definitely cool to catch up and everything. Shout out to Equality and Deference because of Vagina over on Rumble. Welcome to the party. So you've grown since then. Well, not taller, but thank you. Yeah. We've that's been one of the big themes is that my voice is getting a lot, not even deeper, but just say what you just. Also, will you ever do a fan show? Have a few of us on to discuss like a roundtable. Yeah, I'd be down for that. This channel is small enough where I would have to plan that, because if I just was like, okay, then like maybe one person would come up and be like, all right, what do you guys want to do? So we would have to coordinate that. But yeah, I'm definitely down to do that. Absolutely. Another one of those things that if you're in their Discord, we can definitely make happen quite easily. So join the Discord.
It's for the same reason.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. The thing is that I'm telling you, a lot of this is because of anger. I think that's, and he probably demonstrates it the most, the best too. But the way he talks, the way he talks, I get behind it. I'm pissed off as well. It's not just now he's saying this.
Is this too fast? I'm trying to get through all of it, and I used to talk really slow. And just let me know how the speed is. If you want me to slow it down.
Look, the way he talks, I get behind it. I'm pissed off as well. It's not just now he's saying this. He's been saying this for a few years now. He's killed Obama for stuff. He's went after Bush for stuff like that. War in Iraq, he said he never. It's not just
there. You go. That's better.
The fact that he's running now. He's been saying this for a while, and I'm ready to take the risk of having a guy that hasn't been. I'm ready to take the risk because look, if she is going to be in there, I know what I'm going to get, and it's not going to change. It's probably going to be even worse. I'd rather take the risk, see what he can do, and it helps because I like the guy's personality a lot. I really do.
And see, I can sit with that because the way I see it is my focus is on Bernie. So the way I see it, if Bernie's not electable in this political climate, which he was, aside from the DNC, you have Hillary in there, and he's paved the way for a Democratic socialist to run in an election. Yep. And so in 4 years, Hillary doesn't do shit.
I'm sorry. How is
she? I'm with you, Andrew. What in the fuck am I talking about?
Is she even allowed to run?
Okay, so he kind of derailed there. But to finish that thought, my honest belief, that's as high as the video goes. So what I can do is turn myself down a little bit so you guys can. I'll turn myself down a little bit. How's 75? Keep updating on me. Or keep updating that. So I turn myself down a little bit so you could turn your volume up so that it should match a little bit better. So yeah, the honest perception that I had at that time was like, okay, Bernie ran, and it showed that a Democratic socialist could get a lot of support. So okay, fine, I agree that Hillary's going to win and nothing's going to change. And so then, because Bernie already ran and got so much support, then either he can run again or another Democratic socialist can run, and they won't have to fight against, oh, you're a socialist. Oh, you're a socialist. That's what I thought.
Stupid.
Hillary doesn't do shit.
How
But
is she? I'm sorry. How is she even allowed to run right now with what's going on with her?
She
How is
shouldn't.
she even allowed to run?
there's been nothing substantial enough.
I guess.
And I mean, don't get me wrong.
And I had no idea what I was talking about. No, I did not. I had not looked into anything. I'm just repeating what MSNBC told me.
I will vote Democratic. I believe at this point. I haven't been convinced of the
You mean vote Democrat?
third party
That's
movement.
fine.
That's
But-
incorrect to say that. To say it that right. To say it that way is incorrect, right? To say that I'm voting for the Democrats, I'm voting Democratic. That just means that you get an equal vote, right? You would say I vote Democrat.
Believe at this point.
Stupid.
I haven't been convinced of the third party
That's
movement.
fine.
But I if Bernie doesn't win the nomination and Hillary does, I don't like her at all. I agree she's a criminal and she's just a boring person and she's just very plain. Like there's nothing about her that I like.
Even with
But
that,
I would rather see her than Trump or Cruz or
I can't trust her. I can't trust her at all. When she
Yep, you would have been right. And yeah, equality. Send MSNBC. Yeah, in those days, again, I had relatively. I don't want to say strong opinions, but I cared about social issues. I just didn't pay attention to politics at all, and like at all. So I didn't know that the mainstream media was the mainstream media. So I thought, okay, here's what we'll do: we'll watch Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC, and that way I'll get all of the information.
stupid.
And they create a narrative that is easy enough to use in talking points. That if you don't know any better, there's no need to go any further.
I can't trust her. I can't trust her at all. When she screws up and then she lies to these 4 people's families about how they died, how could you ever trust anybody with that? I can't.
Well,
Like, I don't know.
see, now we're
I believe I'm going to respond here, not even being aware, or at least consciously aware of the Clinton list.
now we're bringing into the. I mean, if we want to talk about politicians lying,
I'm sorry. But that was the
No,
main,
I
that's
mean,
the
I
main
agree
reason
with
why
you.
I can't stand her.
I
That's
agree
the
with
main
you.
reason. That's all I'm gonna.
I
say
agree
about
that she definitely, and I got my fingers crossed that she'll get indicted, and
Yeah.
Bernie will be the only Democrat.
Yeah, right.
I think Bernie versus Trump would be pretty good.
hell yeah.
We just
That would have been interesting. I don't think that Bernie would have won, but at least then we would have had a real election for the first time. And
talked about that.
That would be ideal.
Yeah,
Really,
before you got here,
because
we
I
talked
believe
about
Bernie would win. But
that.
yeah, so we don't have any like for Hillary. It's just the position to
but they told you to do it, so you're gonna do it. They told you Orange Man bad, so you're gonna
Like,
do it.
for Hillary. It's just the position to support Donald Trump is so up in the air that is it really worth that risk? How can you? What assures you? And not even what
What
the
assures
public.
me?
Yeah, not even the public position. You personally.
Yeah,
All right.
As a rational person and a Trump supporter, what makes you believe that either or what do you believe when you hear what do you think when you hear him say inflammatory stuff like about Muslims that can be clipped into an ISIS video and used to recruit new ISIS members?
Look, he says
That was an interesting point. I'm giving myself a point there. There absolutely is ways that when they, we say take you take Trump seriously, you don't take him literally. There's still people in America that we very clearly see take things the wrong way and spin it into hatred. And other enemies can do that as well. And as we've just talked about, Norlands,
To an ISIS video and used to recruit new
like I said, lock her up, but also lock him up. That's my view. I don't know.
ISIS members.
look, he says that when he's talking about banning all Muslims. I understand what he means by that. He's not, and you want to compare him to like
What does
not
he
you.
mean by that?
What he's saying is we got to find out what's going on. And as of right now, I can't let anybody in here. He's not saying I want to kill all Muslims. He's saying I want to ban them. That's not Hitler-esque. Maybe it's not the way he's saying it is not right, and a lot of people disagree with it. I'm not saying it's 100%. I can understand why he says that.
Well,
Dilly dilly to Andrew. He's a big Bud Light fan too, so if he watches this, he'll appreciate the dilly dilly. Gonzag said, to be honest, I like the idea of Bernie for the same reason I like Trump. Anything to stick it to the establishment. I would have chose to watch it all burn rather than keep shit going the same way it was. That's why Trump won then. That's why Trump won now. Because it's just so it's just so across the board. Everybody has a different shade of this, and did for the last at least decade. I mean, you are preaching to the choir on that front.
Yeah,
I mean, we are heavily against, Islam
Yeah.
and religion, period, and that is a problem. He is also Andrew is a strong Christian as well. Gomlik said Bernie was an outsider compared to the other Democrats in my eyes. Yep, yeah, at the time, But there's a difference between Islam and Muslims.
Mhm.
Muslims are people. Muslims are people who have an ideology.
Individuals, like, yeah.
Islam is a set of terrible, horrible, miserable ideas. So again, here we can see that I've been consistent with the idea of attack ideas, not people, even way back then. But of course, I was like, everything's racist. But still, the point is, shouldn't we have somebody who is able to articulate? If you're so charismatic, how come you can't articulate that? Why does it have to be so inflammatory? And then he needs people like yourself to come in and moderate and kind of translate into practical English what he actually means. Well, you know what I'm just now realizing as well? When I went and we're talking about the difference in how I speak and all that stuff. I'm now hearing, I forgot that I did this. When I would edit these, I would edit out silences. I would edit out So I was doing that a lot. I just cut it out. And even still, there's a noticeable difference in the way that I speak. Tago said, anti-establishment Trump with the wealthiest presidential cabinet ever proposed along with the richest person in the world as his co-pilot. I mean, rich and establishment are not the same thing. I definitely understand where you're coming from, and I definitely share your concerns. But establishment and money are not the same thing. Not at all. Anyfield said, to be fair, Trump didn't say ban all Muslims. He was banning people coming in from terrorist states. Yep, indeed. I was just misinformed and kind of or disinformed. Translate into practical English what he actually means.
Well, I don't work for the guy, but look, it's inexperience. He needs to sometimes, like stuff like that. He needs to think about what he's going to say. He means well, but look, sometimes you gotta look. Everybody knows with Donald Trump, you gotta take some stuff with a grain of salt, right? But
do you remember if at the time you thought Trump was inflammatory from what he actually said, or because of what you heard from the media? So I'm just recalling as best I can. But what I believe was that I was only seeing clips and stuff out of context. And then because I was seeing those clips in the context that the mainstream media wanted, I was primed to see whatever he said in the worst possible light. And so now that all of us know, you don't take Trump literally, you take Trump seriously. I didn't know that at the time, and so anything that no, that's not right, that's racist. So it's kind of both. I certainly was not diving deep to find to find things, but I was constantly watching the news. So if there was a press conference or a debate or something, I was listening to him. But this was still, when being online, there was a lot of stuff that I just would have missed. Shout out to Balthazar. Welcome to the party. So it comes down to comparing Biden's 100-to-1 crack law to Trump's First Step Act. Fair enough. Welcome. So whatever was played on the news. So if I believe at that time they were not, or I believe at that time they had not yet decided to not cover him. Whether or not they were like, oh, Trump is speaking, we have to cover him. Whether they were there yet, I'm not sure. I think so. But yeah, I think just media clips for the most part. But again, like if there was something that, like there was a speech, or like if there was a town hall on CNN, we would sit down and watch that as part of the thing. But again, only the big stuff. Only is it Trump? Is it Bernie? Is it Hillary? So yeah, mostly going by the clips. Not entirely, but also again being very primed by the mainstream legacy media.
Everybody knows with Donald Trump, you got to take some stuff with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah, well, Equality says, shout out to LouRockwell.com for the win. Libertarian website that's been consistent and right for years. Well, there you go. There you go. Shout out to Right Click. Welcome to the party. So who wants to live in a racial jungle? Oh my God. How could you say that? That's so mean. Welcome to the party. Gonzaga said, damn, you're literally in the exact same place that most anti-Trumpers are still to this day. We can learn a lot from this. Indeed.
You gotta look. Everybody knows with Donald Trump, you gotta take some stuff with a grain of salt, right? But go ahead.
I mean, that's the point, though.
We
know that.
Problem?
We know that because we know Donald Trump. But like I said, the people.
Okay, and so I talk like that now with you guys when we're talking about the views that somebody has about a thing, and I'll talk. Well, we understand that that's how it works, but the perception is that. What point are you making here, Lutch?
Go ahead.
I mean, that's the point, though.
We know that.
Problem? We know that because we know Donald Trump. But
do you though?
Like I said, the people in across the globe, they don't necessarily know Donald Trump or have that same respect for the way he acts. And
there's that liberal elitism. Well, I know better, but people are stupid. They're not as smart as me. Balthazar said, "Are you familiar with the laws I mentioned? Biden specifically designed his to unjustly target people of color. The First Step Act is set thousands free." Oh yeah, it's very clear that Biden is the obvious racist, and Trump is not. It's obvious to me now. Just back then, they were too good at spinning a narrative to somebody who wasn't capable of seeing through their bullshit. I just wanted to understand, and when they served up a story that made sense, I was just like, okay, that works.
And there's a reason why presidents, or there's such a thing as being presidential. There's a reason why we have that, because it works to facilitate things around the globe. Like, yeah, maybe if you're talking to a Republican Congress who's not doing shit, then yeah, you want somebody who's going to call them on their shit. But if you have a very delicate situation in a world where people who believe that blowing up the world will land them in paradise are able,
kind of like the people in New Orleans,
able to get the technology to blow the world up, and will have no qualms about doing it. And all they need is one inflammatory statement to set them off.
Yeah, that's something.
So again, I still agree with that sentiment. What I disagree with is putting that on Trump. That's not Trump's fault that he's going to just speak openly, and other people are going to misinterpret that the way that I did, and the TDS people to today still do. That's not Trump's fault for you not being willing to understand things. I mean, again, I don't disagree that, like, okay, it could have been better, but it's not completely on him. If he was saying the incorrect things, then it would be one thing. And yes, there absolutely is a responsibility to be a good orator and to be able to articulate your points. But if you've done that and people are still biased against you, what else can you do?
No, I'm actually personally pretty frightened of.
So so we share the concern that these people are dangerous, but that's precisely why you don't say inflammatory things like that. It's a delicate situation.
He just called Kim Jong-il. Is that
him a maniac?
He just called him a maniac at the debate last week.
And now we all blew up, right? We all blew up. So clearly, again, the fear mongering was so effective. It was so effective. I was terrified.
Yeah, he just called him a maniac at the debate last week or this week or whatever, and like that's frightening.
And he is a maniac, but that's not the point. Is that
Right.
you don't want Kim Jong-un to hear you calling him a maniac.
Because that.
Yeah, exactly. One thing is being presidential is part of the problem. It's just an act, so people like you, but you're still a pawn in the powers that be behind closed doors. I'm glad Trump is genuine at least. Exactly. And I again, all I wish is that I could have seen that back then. Balthazar said, "You mentioned how the media influence how you felt about Trump. Unfortunately, it is not just the left that refuses to report. You mentioned the media influence me how you felt about Trump. Unfortunately, it's not just the left." I'm sorry. Do you want to reword this? I'm not exactly sure what you mean.
Not because he doesn't deserve it, but because
What could happen to me?
Well, that was one of my negatives I wrote down here. Is that with him? All right, someone asked me a while back, do you trust him with his hand on the nuclear arsenal?
See,
yes. I'm gonna get to what you said. Yes, I do trust because A, he doesn't actually have it, his actual hand on the nuclear arsenal. I think everybody knows that.
It's B, I trust him. He's never shot anybody in a board meeting before that I can remember of.
Why? Yeah. What? It's not like he wasn't a powerful person before. It's not like he couldn't have killed people if he wanted to get them killed. That's Hillary.
All right. I mean, the one thing I am worried about is that when he's negotiating with somebody else, you know, a leader of another country, and then he says something like, if he insults the wrong guy, I admit, because that's what he does. He insults people, and I do like that sometimes. But you can't do that. You can't do that. So I agree with that.
So you trust him that this is just. Yeah, this is just for the time being, and that he would have the frame of mind to not act this way.
He has been, but
that's a pretty decent prediction because he came in, you know, the bull in the china shop, and even though we as society have become more normal or not desensitized, but it's become more normalized. It's not as a shock to the system, but he's also calmed down a lot as well. Shout out to John B. Welcome to the party. Yeah, asking who are the powers that be? If only we knew, we would just call them by name. Balthazar said, at least you have the ability to admit mistakes and grow from them. I respect that. Thank you, sir. I think that is a crucial part of being an adult, being a man. You have to be able to look at the things that you messed up, understand why they were wrong, and not do them again. Guantek said Trump is basically Tyrion Lannister of today. Speak brashly, but implement good ideas regardless of what people think about you. I like that. Guantek said if that's the case, who are the other politicians today? Definitely not the Starks, like they want us to think. Definitely not. Certainly the the Lannisters and the Tullys, or not the Tullys, the Freys would be up to some shit, you know what I mean? And those damn Targaryens, right? All right,
yeah, well, just the frame of mind to not act this way.
He has been. But it's like he needs more experience. But I think he will get that as he goes along. And he does. Everybody has advisors, and I think it'll work. I think it'll work out.
I sure hope so.
One way or
because
another.
Again, that's another point that's another pill that I could swallow. That we're just
there's always another pill I could swallow. You know what I mean? You know, at that time, oh man, the pills were a flowing.
In an age of political or a state of political climate that is changing. Definitely. And that the Trump politics is simply a new level of the same thing we've been experiencing, which doesn't.
Well, we're gonna have to go back on that. So both sides of the media report or don't report to push their agenda. Think tanks like the Reason and Cato Institute are good sources of additional information. Oh yeah, propaganda is definitely not one way or the other. It definitely comes from both sides, but as we know, the left has a lot more, or at least at that time, had a lot more institutional power. And so you can see how just trusting that straight out leads you there. That's funny.
I'm sure bankruptcy is going to come up in here at some point. I'm sure. There's only like 7 things that I knew. All right, so what the hell was I saying?
Is age that's another pill that I could swallow. That we're just in an age of political or a state of political climate that is changing, and that the Trump politics is simply a new level of the same thing we've been experiencing.
A new level of the same thing we're experiencing. Okay.
Which doesn't make it any less dangerous necessarily, but
it does. I understand your concern.
Yeah,
I don't. What the fuck are we talking about? That was not like that. No, none of them are nonpartisan. The idea is that some are going to be more transparent, honest, and have ideas that all that line up with what you want to occur and how it should be done. I think that's what we're talking about.
Concerned about that too, like.
But I could understand what you're saying as well. That it's just kind of
goes off the cuff right when something. If he's sitting right across from somebody and he says,
"You're fired."
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
That's all right. But if he says you're a fucking idiot or something like that, that's not going to go well. So he has to be careful with that.
Well, and even there, Andrew's wrong, because that is exactly what made him so powerful. The fact that he was willing to be like, no, fuck you, and pull out a picture of fucking what's his face's house. I will blow you the fuck up. That is what worked.
But I do trust him with the nuclear arsenal, and
I would, yeah. That's not a concern that I have.
So I mean, that brings us to another point, big point actually, the wall. And you know where I'm going with this. It's gonna end up being just under 2,000 miles long.
Build the wall. Can I get a build the wall in the chat, please?
And I was just wondering, like, what are your thoughts on the wall?
Yeah, he's not talking about a metaphorical
and
wall. He's literally talking about
building a physical wall.
Yeah, guys, that's a good thing.
And I think he said it perfectly when he's been asked about it. And he said this many times. His answer is, look, we either have a country or we don't have a country. And we need that.
I mean, he does say that he does say that he doesn't believe in nations without borders or something like that. But why do we need the wall to have the border? And I mean, obviously, there's more to having the wall, is more than just the border. But
obviously. Now, again, things were not nearly as bad then. I know that there's as recently as this summer, they still quoted the 11 million illegal immigrants here, but that was the number they were using back then. This is still when Obama is in office. That's when they were using the 11 million figure. I think it's something like 20 million additional. I don't know the time frame, but yeah. So obviously, because it makes it harder for people to come in. I think if I remember here, I go about how like, well, that's not how most people come in.
I mean, obviously, there's more to having the wall, is more than just the border. But
they're tap dancing across the border now.
But is that really a good use of time and money? And there's other ways to approach this problem. Just build a wall. Like, could it be done? Sure, but that begs the question.
See, that was a bad cut there. Could it be done? But sure, bad. Yeah. Balthazar said neither Fox either or. Neither Fox nor CNN reported about Kamal's refusal to go after those who abused a 17-year-old girl because the abusers wore blue. Epstein. That's the whole thing, is that they have the institutional power to lie and make it seem like they're the good ones, despite the fact that they do shit like this. Again, even though Fox is, on the right, it's still in a very, very, very narrow scope. And when you don't understand that and you think that this is everything, this is where you end up.
Should it be done? Is that really the best way to solve all the problems that are caused by people coming into this country illegally?
Might not be the best, but I'm sure it's going to help.
Well, that's a big. I mean, for how much is it supposed to cost?
Mexico has a wall too.
10 billion.
For 10 billion, I think we need something a little better than pretty good.
Yeah, like
let's
wait. What did I? Well, hold on. I need to hear that again. What the fuck did I just say?
Supposed to cost? Well, that's a big. I mean, for how much is it supposed to cost?
Mexico has a wall too.
10 billion.
For 10 billion, I think.
As if you have a frame of reference for how much money that actually is in compared to other projects.
Stupid.
Shout out to whatever. Welcome to the party. We are making fun of me. Welcome. Balthazar said, my hypothesis is that free market capitalism is the best solution to the problems created by the war on drugs. I don't see a wall being effective there. How do you, in terms of people walking over the border, I understand there are other aspects, but how do we say that when we have video of people walking across, pulling a fence open, sliding through, how does a wall not, how is that not effective there? Is it an end-all, be-all to end the war on drugs? I don't think that was ever what it was claimed to be. But how is, if somebody is walking across a thing and then you put a wall there, how is that not effective in getting them not to walk there? Or at least make it harder. A book filled with gators. There you go.
Mexico has a wall
I think
too.
10 billion.
For 10 billion, I think we need something a little better than pretty good.
Stupid. Yeah, like
Let's do some political work. Let's figure out
Like what?
how to work. I don't know. I'm not running for president. But Bernie Sanders talks about, diplomacy and working together, and Trump I completely disagree with Trump about global citizenship. I believe we should, we're all part of planet Earth, the human race, and whatever. There's no point in all these things just divide us.
haram.
That was some globalist shit.
Loser.
We definitely got to drink to the stupidity of that.
Trump I completely disagree with Trump about global citizenship. I believe we should, we're all part of planet Earth, the human race, and whatever. There's no point in all these things just divide us.
Stupid.
Oh man. This is who I was, guys. This is who I was.
And hold back our race as humanity.
Everybody's killed Trump for the wall and all that, and Mexico and the rapist comment. And since he brought that up, there's been a few occasions where an illegal immigrant who's not supposed to be here killed an innocent American.
Nobody's
And
disputing.
people are saying, you know what? Maybe his wall idea isn't that bad of an idea, because it's not.
But
It's not a bad idea.
compared to doing nothing. But that doesn't mean that
Yeah.
the wall, building a wall, a physical wall, is
But
like
he needs more than just a wall. He does.
exactly. And
that's
so
gonna-
we're talking $10 billion and how many years to build a wall, and then it needs to be manned and maintained.
Yeah.
It has to go through rivers and over mountains, and what is it? What do you?
And you're I'm just gonna say you because I'm, it's not gonna, whatever. But don't do it like okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna refer to myself here as you or he or whatever, just to keep it simple. But of course, that is me. So I'm not actually making a point.
And how many years to build a wall, and then it needs to be manned and maintained.
You don't know that. Like that you're just saying, like, there's nothing where there aren't people. A wall with no people would still be better.
Yeah.
It has to go through rivers and over mountains, and
And
what is it? What do you? Barring an act of God, this is going to be a lot more trouble than it's worth.
how do you know? How do you know what it's worth? How do you know what it's going to do? How do you know what it's not going to do? This is just the media giving me lines to say, and then I'm just repeating them because I saw it on the news. They said that it wasn't going to be enough, so it's not going to be enough. John said, Jesus, it's only a mild deterrent. Tons of tunnels under the wall, etc. It's also geographically impossible to build the wall Trump is suggesting across the entire border because of rough terrain, homes, etc. And so, John likes 2016 me better. That's all right. And there absolutely is nuance here. And now that I'm in favor of the wall, I can clearly see things that, like, okay, the wall will help this, but it's not going to help that. The argument that I'm making here is that it won't help with illegal immigration. And that is just not the case. Whatever said, a wall that is well patrolled will absolutely stop the large flow of illegal immigration coming in this country. We just need to make it a priority again. Absolutely. Yeah, John likes the globalist lunch.
The shame. Balthazar, thank you so much for hanging out. If you have not already, make sure you hit that subscribe. We have them live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Come on back. What do you, I mean, barring an act of God, this is going to be a lot more trouble than it's worth.
And I even say, if we've got the drug cartels and stuff like that, they're going to find a way to get past that.
Right. Regardless of what we do, they were always going to find a way.
Most of the people, there's too much money coming across the border that they're not going to find a way around it or over it or under it or something.
And then there you go. Kane said, going back to Game of Thrones, people patrolling the wall would be the Night's Watch. It didn't stop the Night King, but it certainly technically the Night's Watch didn't, but you know what I mean? Like, they didn't stop the wall from falling, but they did stop the Great War. Good point, King.
It's gonna be hard to get under it. I used to work,
but that's what she said.
Or over it or under it or something.
And then it's gonna be hard to get under it. I used to work.
But I mean, that's besides the point. It's where there's a will, there's a way. And the fact is, most of the people who are in. But the point is that there's not the will, as we've seen. As we've seen, the will is not there. The will is not there, except with Trump. So I know not everyone agrees with this, but I think we should follow a wall up with a very large landmine between our wall and at least half a mile into Mexico, effectively making a no man's land. I don't love it, but I don't have a good argument against it. I'm still that guy. That's still the same. I've updated my thinking a lot, but I'm still that guy. And I don't love the idea of people dying and getting their limbs blown off because they've decided that, all right, I'm going to risk it and try to come to America for a better life. But also, maybe they wouldn't die if they knew that was going to happen. I don't know. I didn't claim to, I claimed to know everything then, and clearly I was wrong. So I'm certainly not claiming to know everything now. Guamtech said also the mountains are a deterrent in themselves. The wall doesn't need to go over mountains. Yeah, I would have assumed that this went without saying, but again, even myself at the time was like, yeah, but there's mountains. Okay, so then there's already a barrier. Shout out to John. Welcome to the party. Said as a libertarian, Trump naturally won me over time. But it's the Democrats' fault for how far left they've gone and how much they hate him doing the things that they did not see him. They did not see him elected. Absolutely. They hate it. And there's two types of people who were in that camp, who were in I don't know if you were never Trump or if you were just not really for it, but I was for a never. And it was exactly what you're saying, how far the left went and how much hate they spread. That I was just like, okay, this is not my team. And then once I was out of that, I was able to take a step back and look at what was really happening. And there we go. Guantek said, bury electrical fences under the wall while we're burying our power lines, damn it. There's solutions, guys. There's solutions. Where there's a will, there's a way. Guys, we are 5 minutes left to hit the swole goal, guys. We're only 1/3 of the way there. We can make it. Whatever. So there are people with effectively incorporate natural geology. What? There are people that effectively incorporate natural geology into the so-called wall where come on, brother, help me out. John said, I think efforts are better spent on better visa tracking. Big percentage of undocumented folks come here legally by plane, but overstay on visas. Yes, I agree with you there. And I believe that comes up. I believe I bring up that most people who are here come by plane. The reason that I've kind of switched up on that is because I don't I see that as a separate arm of the issue. Like, yes, okay, that is something that we need to deal with. That doesn't prevent us from needing to work on people walking over the border, you know? Shout out to Gary Green. Welcome to the party, sir. Good to see you. Happy New Year. What are you coming over? Yeah, I know you're hungry, bud. I know. We'll see if we'll see. We'll see if we get that swole goal. Hey, and to speak of the devil, Gary Grant with the $2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. $2 will make me holla. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Very much appreciated. Oh, look who we got. Funky Fresh. Oh boy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. A pillar of the community, always coming in hot. No question, no comment, just pure love of the overlord. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much, gentlemen. Very much appreciated. Guamtech said, just make a giant 10-meter wide and 10-meter deep pit or a moat or something. Protect the castle. We got to do something, right? Something. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Guamtech again. Again. Morty, morty, mort. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And Bugmaster again. Again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, gentlemen. So very much appreciated. We had some fireworks before, and he was not happy. So he is definitely, definitely appreciative. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much. All right, let's dive back in.
It's gonna be hard to get under it. I used to work.
But
my
I mean,
neighbor,
that's besides the point. You know,
Okay.
it's like there where there's a will, there's a way. And the fact is, most of the people who are in this country illegally. Yeah, we got a new sponsor of the stream, of course, Funk Master General. Carl knocked you right out of that spot. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Funk Master General. Clean. So yes, the people tap dancing across the border will be stopped. But is that really worth $10 billion? You know, however many years, all that, you know, it's just ridiculous.
You know, there's
just
teacher,
ridiculous.
There's a teacher.
Finish your thought. What the fuck did you just say? Tap dancing across the border will be stopped. But is that really worth $10 billion? Yes. Yes, that is worth $10 billion. If anything being, because again, $10 billion sounds like a lot of money. But we spent that in Ukraine on nothing. You know, however many years, all that, you know, it's just ridiculous.
You know, there's
just
a teacher.
ridiculous.
There's a teacher I had, and I couldn't stand her, but she was right on one thing. You can't put a price on safety. And if you had a relative that was murdered, just like the way some of these people were, you might have a different opinion on it. That's the way
I don't think I would, because I'm not saying that it's not a problem. I'm not saying that we don't need arrogance. He's presenting, maybe if you were in a different position, you would have a different thought. Nah, I know better.
A relative that was murdered, just like the way some of these people were, you might have a different opinion on it. That's the way
I don't think I would, because I'm not saying that it's not a problem. I'm not saying that we don't need to.
You're saying it's a waste of time and money. That's what you're
I'm
saying.
saying the wall is. I'm not saying addressing the problem is a waste of time and money. I'm saying
The physical wall itself.
doing it that way is a waste of time.
What do you want to do then? How do you wanna
I
fix
mean,
this
there's
problem?
councils that and committees that. I mean, I'm not a political strategist or a diplomatic leader of any. Oh yeah, but you got all the reasons why things won't work, but you have no goddamn clue of what will. Oh my goodness! Again! Bug Master General! Thank you so very, very much. Unfortunately, guys, that is the swole goal. We missed it by 4 super chats. So here's a what are we gonna do? Is it over? Oh wait, is it not over? It just said. Hold on. All right, so we're gonna end that one. Oh, start another goal. There we go. So we'll do, if we can do, we had 4 left. So since we missed it, we're gonna kick it up to 5. We'll give you a full hour, and I'll add push-ups. So it's 20. Swole stream push-ups. All right, guys, let's see it. Let's do it. Either way, thank you so very, very much. And of course, our new sponsor of the stream, Funk Master General. Very, very, very much appreciated. Okay, yeah, just, well, I don't know. Well, let's get, actually, no. We need to give a dilly-dilly to Andrew there because, you know, He's offering solutions, maybe not perfect, but all I can do is sit there and be like, nuh-uh, 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 nuh-uh. And that is not worth anything. Shout out to Behave. Welcome to the party. Said, how's Morty doing today? I love him too. He's all right. Like I said, there was some fireworks before and he didn't take it too well. But I think maybe his hearing might be going. So I don't know, but he's all right. He's tough. But welcome to the party. Shout out to M169 in the building. It's an interesting listen to Baby Lunch. I was always for Trump. There you go. Very, very good. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to listen to myself. We were watching some videos. If you want to check the beginning of the replay, we were watching some videos of what I look like. I have my lip ring. I have my short hair with my cutout, and my gauges, and oh man, time is a bitch in some of the best and worst ways. All right, here we go. That I'm not excuses.
Physical wall itself.
Doing it that way is a waste of time.
What do you want to do then?
There's councils that and committees that I'm not a political strategist or a diplomatic leader of any sort. I'm just
all right. So you're saying that the wall is we should not do that because it's a waste. We need to handle this another way.
Exactly. How's the polls looking right now? 46. Why can't you see it? 46%. Well, let me just pop this bitch out. We got 46% at yes. I didn't do what I wanted to do. 46% at yes. Oh God, too early. Oh no! Hold on. That's all we want. We got 46% says yes. We got 31% says no. He won me over in time. Only 6% said I used to like him, but not anymore, and 17% say I never liked him. Taco said we should focus our efforts more on dealing with the murderers born within these borders than the double digit numbers from immigrants who actually work to get here and aren't eager to get arrested. I think that's a false dichotomy. It's not one or the other. It's both. You do both. They're different agencies. There's different monies. There's no reason that we need to do one over the other. We have Border Patrol. We have ICE. We have all that. We have local police departments. We have the FBI. There's plenty of agents to go around. Trust me. God damn it.
Wall is we should not do that because it's a waste. We need to handle it another way.
Exactly. There's a way to handle this with But you have no idea what it is. There is a way for sure. You just have no fucking idea what it could possibly look like. I don't know. You work with the government, and it becomes something that's not a stain on America. Instead of this idea of people in other countries hearing of we're building walls, you hear that we have a president who's able to reach deals with. He's this big deal maker.
To avoid the wall.
Yeah. And look what he did. He made all those deals. And again, if you don't have anything to present, there's got to be a way for everything to be perfect. Okay. All right. That doesn't help anybody. Exactly. To actually address the problem. We're not saying that it's not a problem.
Why can't it negotiate?
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that the wall does make sense because there are going to be people who just don't give a shit about it. I don't what deals we made with Mexico or not. They're going to try to go over here and they you saw what happened.
Yeah, but then but so just for instance, I don't know why
another bad cut there.
I'm sure I'm oversimplifying, but just for example, we could talk to the Mexican government and whoever else would be involved, and there could be more a larger budget for people.
Let's also agree that they haven't been Boy Scouts in this either. You see the one guy.
Exactly, but that's the point, is that you claim to be this expert negotiator, so get them to do what you want them to do.
Yeah, but it's a two-way street though.
Well,
it's not just all right. Then
that's such I'm gagging here. You're an expert negotiator, so you should be able to do anything in the world. Stupid. What kind of argument is that? Taco said, you admit statistically migrants, legal or illegal, are extremely far less likely. That's not how you say that, but yes, I do. That's just basic numbers. There's more people here. So they're going to do that. But the issue is not that the primary issue is that you don't belong here. So if we already have this going on, or not this, but if we have, If we already have this going on, then explain to me how adding people that may or may not be doing crime, how does that help this issue of the people within our borders? How does it not make it worse for there to be more people doing crime in the same space?
Want them to do.
Yeah, but it's a two-way street, though.
Well-
It's not just all right. Then Trump's has to figure all this out. It's the other side.
No, but
well.
but exactly. But he's not willing to work with them. He's trying to put up a
Just making shit up.
wall, a
Yeah.
physical wall. He's not trying
He's
to
blocking
negotiate.
them out, literally.
So I mean, you
Andrew, where was the pushback on that?
can't talk about how all your business is in this and you're so great at that, and then but you can't even talk to the, you can't even
That's the first option. Yeah,
you can't even assign a committee to determine what the reality of the problem is, which already has been done and will show that the people physically walking across the border is not majority of people who are here illegally.
I told you that would come up. And again, why I can say that now is like, great. So we also need to deal with visas and people overstaying, when they're supposed to be here. That does not change the issue of people walking across the border. Taco said, what makes a natural-born citizen more deserving of being here than someone who uproots their life and actually puts effort into becoming an American? Nothing if they're a citizen. But if they just come here, then that's what I was born here. What gives you the right to have your house more than my house? It's your house.
Or the people who are committing these crimes. Are there people? Of course there are. If I lived in Arizona or New Mexico or something, and there was illegal aliens crossing the borders with drugs, which they absolutely do, and shit happens, I don't know, as it does.
No, you don't know. You don't know shit.
Yes, I would be very personally affected by it. But
since I'm not, I don't really care. I just want to say whatever I think is correct, politically correct.
that doesn't change the reality of the situation. The facts do not change. Just because my family member was murdered by someone who walked over the Mexican border, that the Mexican border.
The guy was deported 5 times.
I'm-
5, and he keeps
okay,
coming back.
I'm not-
how
I'm
long
not
are we going
dispute-
to put up with it?
I'm not.
So again, this is the excuses. The excuses being made. This guy was deported 5. I don't know exactly what story we're talking about, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We know that this happens with enough frequency that we can say that it's a thing. Call it the Lake and Riley story. Obviously, this was years before, but I'm just saying it's happened. And to just have the default of what did I say here?
Someone who walked over the Mexican border, that the Mexican
The
border.
guy was deported 5 times.
I'm-
5, and he keeps coming
okay.
back.
I'm not
how long are we going to
dispute-
put up with it?
I'm not saying put up with it.
No, yeah.
You kind of are. Have I said anything in that podcast? Have I said anything along the lines of any type of punishment or rectifying? Or have I just been defending criminals?
I'm not.
How
I'm
long
not.
are we going to put up with it?
I'm not saying put up with it.
No, yeah.
I'm not saying there's this false dichotomy that
Alright.
says we either need Trump's wall or we're doing nothing and we don't give a shit. That's
I'm
not true.
what
That's
I'm
just
saying.
that. Well, that's the
I'm
way
s-
you're posing it to me.
All right.
He just didn't say that.
Look, the wall is. I think the wall's going to help, but he needs more than just a wall. And I told you this before.
Exactly.
All right, so,
You need,
Like
you
what?
Need,
Wait,
you need more security. I told you this
okay.
before.
All right, so, okay.
You need going to help, but he needs more than just a wall. And I told
Dilly dilly, dilly dilly, dilly dilly, dilly dilly, dilly dilly.
There you go. Shout out to Leslie McDowell, long time no see. Welcome. Said oligarchs never cared for borders and transcend them. Why shouldn't we? Go where the economy is. What? I don't know what you mean by that. But welcome to the party.
All right. Look, the wall is. I think the wall's going to help, but he needs more than just a wall. And I told you this
Okay.
before.
All right, so, okay.
You need
Like
you
what?
Need, you need more security out
Oh,
there.
so now you can be like, oh, like what? When you have no fucking ideas of your own.
You need drones. You need all kinds of stuff. It's going to cost a lot, but like I said, you can't put a price on safety, and I think that's going to help. It's going to help.
Bingo.
I agree with you. I agree with you. The
No,
drones,
you don't. Why are you saying you agree when you don't agree?
great idea. Infrared technology, great idea.
It's going to cost a lot.
It's
but I
not going to
think-
cost $10 billion for 5 drones that to go over 2,000 miles. I can get.
So is just so I'm sure, we're saying okay, the elite do it, so it should be okay. Is that the standard that you're putting forth?
Guarantee you that. It will not cost $10 billion to have drones covering 2,000 miles of the border, and with with infrared.
Did
you
I
have
just?
one
What the
heli-
fuck did I just say?
Covering 2,000 miles.
All right,
It
well,
will not for 5 drones that to go over 2,000. Yeah,
it's going to cost a lot.
it's
But I
not going
think
to cost $10 billion for 5 drones that to go over 2,000 miles. I can
I mean, made by Lockheed Martin. Who fucking knows? Just talking shit.
guarantee you that. It will not cost $10 billion to have drones covering 2,000 miles of the border, and with with infrared, you have one helicopter. One helicopter.
All right, let's. Hey, look. If you want to model yourself as a human being after the way that our leaders behave, then by all means, go for it. I personally don't want to be like them.
You see some people with the drones, you go take the helicopter right to them, bing bang boom.
you think it's
Get him,
that simple?
Taco.
It's not that simple, but
All right.
has he have why can't it be?
There's at least
Give
another
me a reason
idea.
why that it's not that simple.
It's not because you can't see that whole.
Give me a reason why it's not that simple to end the immigration crisis. You coming over here? Come on. Come. Morty, you can't go over there. Come on. Come here. Oh, God. Come on. I see that you're waiting. Stop on the show. But yeah, give me one reason why you can't just solve it like that. This is such a question from ignorance because it's more complicated than that. It takes more than just saying the thing.
Give me a
Another
reason
idea.
why that it's not that simple.
It's not because you can't see that whole.
Because it's
whole
complicated.
entire thing just with 5 drones or whatever.
Okay,
you said.
but okay, so then it'll be a fleet of 50. But
Okay.
even still, we're talking.
Okay,
about
now, okay,
not
all right,
putting-
hold up. You said 5 drones ain't gonna cost $10 billion. You get 50 drones from the military that are constantly running. You're gonna tell me that couldn't cost $10 billion? When you're wrong, you're wrong. Oh man, was I wrong?
Putting up a physical border between another country that we
Why?
want to have
Mexico
relations.
Mexico has a wall.
Great for Mexico.
The
So
Pope
does
has a
China.
wall. So they all have walls. Why can't we have one? Why not?
Because it costs.
Yup.
All have walls. Why can't we have one? Why not?
Because it costs taxpayers a lot of
Uh,
money and it
uh.
alienates people from another country.
You know what else?
We could do a whole different conversation with that, but the wall.
Yeah, you want to know what else costs a lot of tax money? Dealing with all the fucking illegal immigrants. That costs a lot of money.
wall
Like, okay, so
you're
I'm
looking
gonna
for me to
assume.
say why we need the wall, right?
Yeah, I don't understand why the
The
wall,
wall
is
is
the
the
answer,
solution.
not why.
I'm not saying it's the
Okay.
solution.
Okay.
Yeah, he's already established that it is part of the solution.
I think it would help quite a bit. I really do.
Okay.
Especially if you got concrete under there. And you dig it
And
deep
yes,
enough. How
a
long?
concrete wall would prevent people
I
from
used to-
walking where there is no wall. That-
Oh, okay. I thought he, meaning me, was gonna be like, well, yeah, if it was concrete, well, sure.
Deep
yes,
enough. How
a
long?
concrete wall would prevent people
I
from
used to-
walking where there is no wall.
That's it. That's the entire purpose. So if you agree that it will do what it's supposed to do, and you want it to do what it's supposed to do, then what is the issue?
That is a claim that I'm not going to.
People are saying we could.
Whether it's worth spending all the time and money to build that
I'm
wall.
talking about under the ground. You put it deep enough. Yeah, they're gonna.
Okay.
They're gonna die.
And so, based on the way that he just, did a stutter, like, yeah, I'll replay it again. But again, I must have given him one of these kind of looks, because at first I didn't even, even though the tunnels and stuff had already come up, when he just said that, it based on what I'm hearing, it seems like I didn't understand that he was saying, no, the concrete goes down into the ground as well. Here again.
They're saying we could.
Whether it's worth spending all the time and money to build that
I'm
wall.
talking about under the ground. You put it deep enough. Yeah.
Right there. We put it to yeah. So that must have been me giving him a look like
I'm
that.
talking about under the ground. You put it deep enough, they're gonna die going down there.
Fair enough, but
That's their
again,
problem.
it still begs the question. I still have the question whether all that is the best way to address this problem that we both agree we have.
I don't think.
Behave said my brain hurts. I'm gonna trust Trump on this because he's smarter and has done this shit before. Fair enough. Hey, Bug Master General, getting us started on goal number 2. Goal number 2. Can we get goal number 2? That's 1 out of 5, guys. That's a 1 out of 5. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. Out sponsoring your goddamn self. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Whether all that is the best.
Leslie said it would help if you understood where borders come from. They are actually created by monarchs and oligarchs that claimed people of the same culture as their property. Are you property? No, but my property is property. Is your property not property? Because my property is property. So I don't know how that changes things. Hey, look who we got! Welcome to the party, Chester. Long time no see, always a pleasure. To the 3 most important inventions in chronological order: walls, wheels, and sliced bread. There you go. There you go. Good thing I just did for you. Welcome to the party, brother. Always a pleasure. Behave said, hi, everybody. Happy New Year. Morty is still here. I think it's a good sign. That makes it sound like you think he's going to die sooner than he is, but I'll take it. Thank you.
It still begs the question. I still have the question whether all that is the best way to address this problem that we both agree we have.
I don't think
It's
Right. Okay, fine. You have that question, but you don't have any way of seeking for an answer. You're just standing on, well, I don't know. That's not enough. Like, okay, if you don't know, go fucking figure it out. If you want to say the wall is not the answer, then you have to at least give a direct reason why not, and preferably give a better option. Now, you don't have to have a better option in order to point out why it's not a good idea, but you got to be specific. Can't just say, well, it should be better. And you can see the same liberal bullshit that we make fun of to this day. I was victim to it. In case you're just joining us, this is my podcast from August 2016, when me and my co-host were never Trumper, and this other guy is coming in telling us what's good. And we did 2 more podcasts because we still didn't believe him. Leslie said, freedom of control versus control or power over self are 2 completely different things. Trump can take my land, my neighbor cannot. Okay. Freedom of control versus control or power over self. So how does I don't understand how me not being property connects to the fact that monarchs and oligarchs claimed people as property. Therefore, we shouldn't stop people from coming into the country. These seem like disconnected ideas. Like, okay, maybe they started it for bad reasons because people were property. Now, we don't want to make people property. We want to reserve the property for the people to live on. Am I victim blaming? I might be. This whole thing is a victim blame. I didn't know any better. Chaka said it's the rhetoric that somehow immigrants are more violent and worse for this country than the average person born here. No, it's not. We agree that violent crimes are mostly domestic. We need a better system. Yes, agreed. Because of the fact that we need a better system, we should not overload that system with people who don't even belong here. That is the point. It's not about, oh, they're more violent. It's the fact that we don't know if they're going to be violent. We already have violent people here. I don't know how many other ways to say that. It's not about the fact that immigrants do more. I agree with you. More violence per capita comes from citizens than immigrants. That is not the issue. That is not the issue. If I'm a father in a family and my kids are acting up and doing stupid shit, that's an issue to deal with. The fact that some other kid that I don't know just comes in and is sleeping on my couch and not bothering anybody is its own issue, whether or not he's doing more or less than my kids are doing. It is my house, and I need to make sure that in order to maintain the safety when there are dangerous people, that we have rules in place and those rules are followed. So it's such
The
a
wall is not going to solve all the problems, but it's sure as hell going to help.
But it
all right,
all-
and you
Bingo. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
I don't know how you could possibly argue with that. Unless you just listen to legacy media.
need more than that, and I've said
Okay,
that.
but there's a concept of opportunity costs. If you spend all this time and money on a wall that's not going to comprehensively solve the problem, that's $10 billion and all that time and energy and manpower spent on that can't be spent on. You have no fucking clue. On something that would be appropriated somewhere else on a more efficient idea. Such as? And we could spend less money instead and still have the security. Again, if there was a solution proposed that followed what I just said, I'd be like, yeah, I've been right the whole time because I still agree with that. The difference is that I'm not in a mindset of there's this magical solution that just nobody is thinking about. Jester said there's a difference between a slave and a subject, aka a citizen. Well said, sir. Well said, sir. I'm absolutely subject to the laws of the land of America. And we could spend less money instead and still have the security.
Okay.
And so, and that's all I'm saying. I don't see why that is. You're not saying anything. Basically, what my whole thing about the wall so far has been, I don't know. Probably something better though, right? That's the entire argument that I put forth. I haven't heard anyone articulate that. They just you haven't listened to anybody try. Say the wall's going to help, and it's and whatever. But and again, so why didn't you try to understand what the position actually is? So let me pose another question to you. There's a lot of, the establishment of the Republican Party. They're the same reason that the kid sleeping on your couch doesn't belong. Has collectively decided that it's ridiculous to support Trump and to have Trump as their nominee running the election. What do you say to the guy sitting next to you at the bar who's also a Republican? Says, what, you're into Trump?
Well,
so this is an interesting thing. We'll see what it is, but this might become irrelevant as because like I said, when we did this, the party was still very not taking Trump very seriously. So and he would be very at the time. I haven't followed him in years, but he used to live at the pub. He would just go in, and everybody knew him as the Trump guy and all that stuff. And so we would go in and he'd be open about talking about whatever he likes. And so I'm asking about the other Republicans who still didn't take Trump seriously. Let's see what we're doing. As he said, outside of crime, the issue isn't exactly being told to you very clearly. The issue is immigrants taking wages from Americans. That's an aspect. Americans need to stop relying on wages and create their own capital. That's true. That's true. Chester said borders weren't created by monarchs. Leslie, that doesn't even make sense in Shrek. What nonsense. I don't know where borders came from. I don't know who was the first. Okay, this is what I feel like it's kind of a natural, instinctual thing to have the notion of property. But either way, even if they did, I don't understand how that relates to the idea that there should or should not be a wall. Hey, Kelly Green in the building. Morty's getting a treat just for the throwback. The throwback of not only are we listening to myself in 2016, we got Chester in the building and Kelly Green at the same goddamn time. Look at that. Look at that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm excited for the after party tonight, guys. Make sure if you are not a member that you sign up. It is only $2.99 a month. That's 12 after parties and other good stuff as well. Check it out. Check it out. All right, let's dive back.
Who's also a Republican. Just, what? You're into Trump?
Well,
How could you?
that's one thing is you don't want to get into the but no, but I mean, then I would say
Okay, wait, so Taco said if he's improving my house, doing the dishes, paying rent and taxes, so that's not the situation that I gave you. Okay, and how many strangers are living in your house doing this stuff right now? So you're just saying things, right?
well, but no, but I mean, then I would say, well, you got 7.5 million other guys that are what, idiots as well, just like I am. I mean, because that's how many votes he's got. He's got 7.5 million votes with all the states and delegates and all that.
Unfortunately, that's no longer a good argument because Biden got 81 million.
But the problem with all of this is that they can say.
Do you think that I think that immigrants just sit there?
All they want. Ted Cruz can say, first Super Tuesday, 65% didn't vote for Donald Trump. Okay, well, he got 20% of the vote, so 80% didn't vote for him. Like, what the hell is that? I mean, how many? And I hear radio talk show hosts say that all the time. But then when it comes down to it, they say, well, I guess I'll still vote for Trump because he's a Republican. Then shut the hell up.
That's a fair point.
We need
That's a fair
we
point.
need you want to say all that, and then at the end, I'll still vote for him if it's him as a nominee.
See, I disagree with that. I disagree with that. As we, just came out of this election season, I was not willing to be a sycophant and just be like, no. Don't be quiet about what Trump doesn't do. We don't like about Trump. I don't think we need that. I'm not throwing shade at Andrew there. I don't think we knew or we didn't know at the time how impactful Trump would actually be. And so it may have been slightly more reasonable to be like, oh, let's just keep that on the DL. No, Trump's our guy. Maybe. But as of now, I do not hold that. I do not hold that at all. I definitely,
You want to say all that, and then at the end, also vote for him if it's him as a nominee.
Yeah, I'm going to be willing to call him out on whatever I need to call him out on.
You could say they could say all they want, but all right, go back to your question.
Well, just to play the devil's advocate as that Republican who
says I'm crazy.
Yeah,
well,
let's say
so
let's say I'm a Republican and I may not even like Cruz that much, but I've decided.
Let's say Ted Cruz goes up there. What's he gonna do? Just preach the religion thing the entire time against her? Because that's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing.
Are all about.
That's what they all do. And actually, yeah, I'm making a decent point here.
Religion thing the entire time against her? Because that's what he's doing. That's
exactly
what he's doing.
Are all about that.
Yeah.
So that may very well be.
I understand, but that can only go so far. And he's.
There was
I'm starting to get fired up here.
Oh no!
Let's go.
That's exactly why we.
And I'll tell you. Well, I don't know if you want to get into this yet, but another reason why I think a lot of people would say something like that, like,
mind you, we were drinking through this, so it started off nice and calm, and now we're getting fired up.
Why are you? You're an idiot for supporting Trump as a nomination for our party is because of the media. I don't know if you want to get into that now or you want to
absolutely.
wait for that.
I mean, that goes back to your.
Did I miss this one? Leslie said legally is a subjective term because laws are only intended for you, not Musk and Trump. Okay. I'll even give you that. I'll even give you that. Let's say so. Technically, Chester is obviously right. Legally refers to the objective laws. So if something is just because somebody could do something doesn't mean it's not. Or excuse me, just because someone can do something doesn't mean it's legal. So just because they didn't get in trouble for doing things that were illegal doesn't mean that they didn't do things that were illegal. So the legality may not apply to them, but the legality is still there. It is still objective in the sense that this either is it is breaking the law or it is not breaking the law.
I mean, that goes back to your earlier point, I think, which you've actually convinced me of in this conversation, is that the Trump politics, the Trump campaign, that the way that he's running his campaign, the inflammatory whatever, that it's just an amped up version of shitty Republican politics that has been for a long time now, which shitty politics in general doesn't necessarily make me like him anymore, but it certainly gives a more rational position to him. This comes from looking at the reality of the situation and stepping back from the media, because stepping back from the media. Yikes. Come on, Master General! Is he gonna be the only one to finish this? Come on! He can't be the only one to take us across the finish line. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Let's celebrate the third super chat on a live stream, making you the new, or not the new, out sponsoring yo goddamn self. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Excuse me. Leslie said, well, Africans or Africans call the International Criminal Court the International Colonial Court because since World War II, they overproportionally charge only African countries. Okay. Class distinction is actually determined by which laws you are subject to. Right. But that doesn't change. Fine. I agree with that. But the laws that are in existence, whether something, if you're making my argument, if you are not subject to the legality, then it means the legality is there, whether you are subject to it or not, meaning it is objective. It wouldn't be a possibility for it not to apply if it wasn't an objective standard. There wouldn't be anything wrong with that. The fact that you're calling this out is the fact that there is an objective standard called the law. Whether it is applied equally, whether people are subject to that law is a different question. Whether something is legal or illegal is an objective statement. And stepping back from the media, because on the one hand, like we've said, the establishment, your Fox News people have decided already that it's ridiculous. They don't give any reasons. It's just ridiculous, and we have to do whatever we can to get rid of it. I mean, of course, he's never held office, and they say that he's not really conservative and whatever. But I mean, there's no real substance why he can't be.
They got no.
Wow, so I that's a lot more open-minded than I anticipated myself being there. Shout out to Right Click. Thank you. Said Merry belated Christmas from Uncle Yeshua. Praise be. And of course, a treat for Morty. Thank you, sir. 2 more, and I'm on the floor, guys. 2 more, and I'm on the floor. Thank you, sir. Why he can't be,
they got no. They're saying that he's just going to be a disaster no matter what.
And that, so they're dramatizing on that side, and then the like your MSNBC people are eating that right up as well.
Of course they are.
They're saying, and fair enough. I mean, it's like what rights you have and what you're able to do. I agree with you that they apply differently to people. But the statement you made is that legally is a subjective term, and that is just not the case. Taco said, talking about outcomes, being able to use resources to obscure and wiggle out of legal trouble. Yeah, of course. Like we just saw what 1,500. Well, I guess technically that's not illegal. But yeah, of course the law doesn't apply equally to people. I would never say that it does. Just that what is law is not a subjective statement.
They got no. They're saying that he's just going to be a disaster no matter what.
And that so they're dramatizing on that side, and then the like your MSNBC people are eating that right up as
Of
well.
course they are.
They're
Yeah.
saying, you know, and,
No,
and
yeah,
to our
they're-
candidate,
they're
they've
pro the other side.
yeah, they've already just both establishments have already decided.
Spit
that
it
it's
out.
Trump versus Hillary. Period.
Not necessarily. The
I,
contested convention or whatever they're talking about.
but that's what I'm saying. That they
Yeah.
have
Oh, yeah,
decided
oh,
that
yeah,
he's
they're
going to
gonna-
win,
yeah.
so
Okay.
they need to that he is the front runner, that he will be
I thought you meant
voted
down.
for.
I thought you meant past that.
Yeah, and they, it's just so, you know, we talked about this a lot in our last episode about how they just spit at you what to think.
Yep.
They don't present you with a case. They just say, well, obviously Trump's ridiculous. Well,
Yep.
obviously Bernie Sanders is too ridiculous to be electable on this.
So if you understand that, then why didn't you take any steps to rectify that? Why didn't you take any steps to rectify that and to figure out, okay, how far does this go? And again, I think it's just that I thought I knew. I thought I understood. Oh, okay. Yeah, Bernie is the answer. No reason to look any further. Kind of like the people who look at the Bible and say, oh, that's all we got. No need to look any further.
Obviously, Ted Cruz is going to come out.
See,
Obviously, they would.
Mitt Romney did the exact same thing.
You don't. I already agreed with the initial notion. I just disagreed with the words that you said that were not correct.
He had that press conference in Utah, pretty much saying, "Don't vote Donald Trump."
Yeah.
And how'd that work out?
Does anybody remember what he's referencing here? Let's see. Let's see if we can get Trump, Utah, 2016. Don't vote.
Rob, it's usually a solidly Republican state. Why is it less solid for Trump this year?
Well, there are a lot of reasons for that, Jane. First of all, I want to show you where I am. We're at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, and this is a polling station that has been set up. Let's take a look at this line here. Mostly students at the university, but not all. And these folks will be waiting here, although the sun is going down, probably for at least another hour or so. Now, the question of third-party and independent candidates is a very, very interesting one. And
This is what we're looking for. This is not what. Okay, one. No, that was recent. What is this?
Turning now to the unexpected story playing out in Utah. Donald Trump may be the first Republican to lose that state since 1964. The polls there extremely tight. We've told you that over and over between Trump and Clinton. And the third-party candidate, Evan McMullin. And Utah's Mormon voters are also divided closely on who they will vote for November 8th. They are.
Shout out to Gary Johnson. And what is Aleppo?
Of course, the key voting demographic in Utah. 60% of the voting population are Mormon. Vice presidential candidate Tim Kaine targeted Mormon voters with his op-ed yesterday.
Caucus in the Republican, good catch, in the Republican primary.
Yeah, you've been a delegate.
Twice. You have. So here we are.
Yeah.
Pretty close to election day. Well, what are you guys going to do?
We battle it back and forth.
For a little while, I looked at Hillary Clinton. Right now, I'm really excited about the momentum in the Evan McMullin campaign.
Yep.
Who? Okay. I don't know. What? No, I don't know. All right. Well, I'll have to take his word for it.
Same thing. He had that press conference in Utah, pretty much saying, "Don't vote Donald Trump."
Yeah.
And how'd that work out? I mean, the guy first.
As you said, I'm saying people are conditioned to work for other families, need to tackle the issue of wage peonage. Is that a word or is that a mistype? I don't. Genuinely asking. Not international issues. The laws around immigration are obviously not being respected. All right.
First of all, that should have been a layup. That election that he ran against Obama, that should have been a layup. He should have won that easily, and then he just disappeared. The guy shouldn't have been. But it's. Well, let me go back to this media thing. Okay, a lot of people can't stand the guy out of their own personal reasons, so they'll do whatever they can. They'll bring up the KKK and how he wants to be. He was endorsed by the KKK. First of all, nobody can say. Nobody can control who votes for them or who likes them.
Obviously.
And how many times are they going to bring that up? They're all right.
Even back then, it was tired to be like, "Well, you should outdo Duke and the KKK."
We're gonna hit him with the race card now because.
But I didn't. But it was effective because I didn't know any better.
And how many times are they going to bring that up? All right. We're going to hit him with the race card now because that'll kill him now. How many times how many times does the guy have to disavow and say, I disavow, and then But at the same time, you want every vote you can get.
Exactly.
And then
see,
if we're gonna go down, down that road, then anybody who's ever had a DUI, I don't want your vote. Anybody who's anybody who's been arrested for pot, I don't want your vote either. Like, what are we doing here?
Dilly dilly.
great point.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
I think there might be depending on the situation, there might be a discussion in why does this bad person like what you're saying? There may or may not be something like that. But you can't just, oh, well, this person likes you, therefore you're bad. It doesn't work like that.
Been arrested for pot. I don't want your vote either. Like, what are we doing here? And another thing with the KKK, how about in 2008 when Obama was running for the first time, and in Philadelphia they had Black Panthers right outside the voting booths with bats. Nobody ever talks about that. Never. But with Trump, he's a racist, and everybody's trying to make him like a jackass and everything else. It's ridiculous. The guy is not being, and because of that, the people that are voting for him are doing it for spite.
You say this, Dago, but before that was my confusion. That was my confusion with how this was originally brought up about, like, well, the oligarchs don't do it, or they're not subject to the law, so why should we? And it didn't seem like she was saying, I do want to be like the oligarchs.
That's the other side of it. That's what scares me, is that perhaps he is striking a nerve with you. But like I say, if you weren't going to vote because you just hate politics and you see Trump out there and you're like, oh, I can hop on board with that, then I say to you, you probably, not everybody, there's people who have different.
So I missed that. I apologize.
You see Trump out there and you're like, oh, I can hop on board with that, then I say to you, you probably, not everybody, there's people,
oh, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad.
Who have different opinions, but I'm sure a lot of the people who would otherwise not vote but are supporting Trump, if they truly understood Bernie's position and took out the media dramatization of both candidates, that whatever, because,
spit it out.
There's a dynamic that when you hate on Trump, then his supporters are gonna like him more. I mean, there was that one.
Hey, at least I was on top of that one. But what fucking point am I trying to make here?
Supporters are gonna like him more. I mean, there was that one campaign. It was
that point. Talk about the weave, right? I was right there, and then I just drifted off. I don't know what
it's supposed to be a negative ad.
Yeah.
But I believe
best ad ever.
I think that it speaks to the anger people have. I mean, actually, we have that here. Yeah. Let's just play that real quick.
Ooh, fancy editing.
I went to an Ivy League school. I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. Listen, you motherfucker. He gets the nomination. They're going to sue his ass. She said he's a butt. I don't give a We'll beat the shit out of them. They're ripping the shit out of the sea. Bullshit. What the hell are we doing?
That's my president!
I have the best words. And you can tell them, go themselves.
American Future Fund Political Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Jester said, oh, yes, the old poverty creates crime. We need to arrest poverty. Someone get me a description of poverty because it's causing crime. I definitely agree that crime, poverty can definitely lead, or is definitely a precursor for crime. But that is not. It's yes, thank you, absolutely, and kind of doing the same thing right now. So I'll just let Chester's comment speak for itself.
American Future Fund Political Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You can't argue it's not funny.
What you didn't see there is at the end he's got his thumbs up, and it's just a still shot of him with his thumbs up, and it says "offensive, out of control. America can do better." I don't think it hasn't worked. It's gone in the opposite direction.
That gave me positive feelings. That's all I know. I know very little about advertising and marketing, but I know that that did not make me dislike Trump.
I bet you there's something going on, and that was on purpose.
All right, well, you can blame the feminists for that one.
Betcha.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, there's something underhanded going on.
I don't know. That seems like something you can't even plan for.
I don't know, man.
So the media is definitely hard at work.
Yeah.
Forming our nation's opinions.
How's it working out?
Apparently, I mean.
Apparently too well. Apparently too goddamn well. Not well enough, thankfully.
Same as always, I guess.
But I mean, that is really where I think we can agree, and that's really why I thought it necessary to have this conversation, because there's so much in the media that is just things that people say for the sake of emotional reaction, have no bearing on reality or practical or the practical outcomes of certain things. Like
it should be. You guys obviously you got your position on this, but I think you could admit that they haven't been fair to him.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And the thing is, I mean, I didn't expect you to be able to do this. But if you had come here with the argument that that Trump was the most rational choice, and you could, knock down all my questions, I would take the Bernie.
He kinda did. The only thing he was not able to answer was the way that I phrased the give me one reason why it's not reasonable for Trump to be the deal maker and just make a good deal without a wall.
What? Sanders picture out of my window,
No.
and I would claim support for Trump.
Well, I wasn't trying to do that.
No, and I understand that, but I'm just saying, if my point was, I want to know what the real story is. I want to know what this guy is really about.
And thankfully, I eventually did get there. But you can see I was fighting hard, and the powers that be, as we were talking about before, they are hard at work.
I still think, that for me, it bothers me that it needs to be teased out. So,
and if you missed it, Lutch and I spoke about the bastardization of the news on our last episode of the All Really podcast.
But it's just, I didn't expect you. I mean, obviously, you weren't trying to convince me of anything. We were just trying to understand things, and I do understand a lot better than I did before.
Shout out to Fart Master General. Thank you, sir. Keeping the party raging, guys. One more, and I'm on the floor. One more, and I'm on the floor. Thank you, sir. Out sponsoring yourself. Thank you.
Trying to understand things, and I do understand a lot better than I did before. I've had a number of conversations with my dad about this, who is
shout out to Papa Lutch. And again, shout out to Funk Master General.
Not necessarily so rational about. He kind of has more of a gut feeling, and he likes to follow that. And so when I poke for reasoning and rationale behind it, he doesn't necessarily have it, which is, perfectly fine, but it just doesn't satisfy my curiosity.
And again, that's the same topic. Well, you don't have all of the answers, so my position must automatically be correct. Instead of coming from a place of, I don't know, you give me information, I was starting from the conclusion, Trump is bad, convince me why he's not.
It doesn't make the case for me, so that can be a little, I guess, hard to deal with sometimes. But yeah, that
me hard to deal with? No way.
I guess hard to deal with sometimes. But yeah, that it just maybe it doesn't mean that if we have a Trump presidency that the world is going to implode.
Yeah.
That's what.
Maybe, just maybe.
You've convinced me of that much.
Okay.
All right.
That's a start.
That is a start.
But yeah, I mean, the media tries to convince us that is the case. So already I'm skeptical of that. Already I'm thinking that can't be the case because the media doesn't work that way. The media isn't fair to anyone. No. So I mean, perhaps there's somebody listening who
hit the swole go, guys. One more, and I'm on the floor. Where's I can't get rid of it now.
Was not going to vote on the fence, a Bernie supporter, whoever, and now you're a Trump supporter. Just listen to this conversation. I mean,
oops.
Yeah, but I would rather you be well informed and vote for someone who truly represents what you think than for you to go on with someone who is better fit for me personally.
Hey, we got a freak off, baby. Freaking off tonight. If you are not a member or somebody who's been grandfathered in, shout out to those of you who have been here. Chester has been here for so long, I don't even remember, and has been grandfathered in
to the full Discord server. So come on through. Hey, we also got Dietrich. Welcome to the party. So why do you keep reminding us you were a communist? It's like knocking on your neighbor's door each month and reminding them you're on the registry just to smell what they're having for dinner. I got dilly. That's a good one. I like making fun of people, and I know myself better than anyone else. With someone who is better fit for me personally, because you don't know any better. That's not because what's better for me isn't necessarily the best thing for society.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen if, I don't know, especially at the general election presidential level. I don't know. I don't think that can be true. Obviously, unless your goals are fucked up. But if I actually want the country to improve, and I believe that this version of improving the country is better than that version of improving the country, then I don't think it could be that the way that the country is not better is preferential to you. What? Like, that doesn't make sense. No, I wasn't that far. I was just a mainstream default, didn't know any better, knucklehead. Yep. Just said, damn, they must be cooking good food though if you're doing that. I want what the neighbors are having. I said, shit, me too. The best thing for society.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen if, Hillary becomes president. I don't know what's going to happen if Trump becomes president. If I could see that, and I could see that Trump, if I could see in the future and see what a Trump presidency would be and what a Hillary presidency would be, I can probably assure you that I would probably pick Trump at that point, but not. So what is the holdup then? It is just the social no orange man bad. There's nothing else here. Except, well, Trump is bad. And so, you gotta figure out another solution. Dietrich said, well, it's like they say, if you can't laugh at yourself, it's going to be awkward for you, and we all are. That's how it goes, right? Something like that. No, that's all natural, baby. But if you at the top of the chat, if you click on the 4 out of 5 goal right there, it'll show you something like that. And I'll give you the parameters. This one on the screen is 15 light blue super chats. That's $2 or up. But we missed that one, so we did 5, 5, because we had so many before. Can you smell what the Rock is cooking? Oh my God. Oh man. Go achieve. First, let's give Morty his due. Of course, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. But that's not it, guys. It's wall time. Everybody, pay your go. You shouldn't be watching. You should be doing it. Hey, you suck.
That's how you get swole, baby. That's how you get swole. Shout out to each and every one of you. Trey started us off. Carl, Guamtech, Indie Film, Carl again, Garrett, Fuck, Guamtech, Fuckmaster, 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 Fuckmaster. Right click and Funkmaster. Let's give him an extra one because he's just so goddamn cute. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ugh, that is how you bulk me up. Who paid themselves? Who paid themselves? Who did some push-ups or some squats or something? There you go. He's just staring at himself. He's staring at himself. Morty's the mod. Morty's the overlord. He is the ruler of this household. There you go. Masa, make America swole again. There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, I'm awake, baby. I'm awake. I'm awake. Yep. That is pretty much it. So I need you guys. Without that, I'm going to be skinny forever. I'll be skinny forever, but with your guys' help, gonna get swole. Thank you, guys. Very, very, very much appreciated. Whew. All right. I feel... Let's dive right back in. What a Hillary presidency would be, I can probably assure you that I would probably pick Trump at that point. But why? Not having that hindsight, I just think it's too risky of a thing. And I mean,
You really think so? You really
now you know.
think you would? Down the road, look back on
Over
it.
Hillary?
Yeah. I'm just egging you on
No,
here. Really? Like,
probably not. But I mean, I was there. And I let him be like, well, really? Are you sure you would say that, bro? Are you sure?
Got him, folks.
No, well, but I mean, I wouldn't. I already drank 2 today. Certainly wouldn't be. I don't know. I really don't know because Hillary is not a great person.
Yeah,
she's not a great person, and
she's soulless.
Well, let's put it this way: the worst case scenario with Hillary is definitely worse than the best case scenario with Trump. I without.
I'm sorry. What was that?
I think we definitely got to agree with that. The worst of Trump is, or the best. No, what did I say? The worst case scenario with Hillary is definitely worse than the best case scenario with Trump. Obviously, I without.
I'm sorry. What was that?
The worst case scenario with Hillary is worse than the best case scenario of Trump.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
That I could, but
not literally, but yeah.
What I can, based on what I have seen and what I know and have read, there is less to convince me that that Trump is the actuality. That is the Trump that we will get. And looking back, it was unbearably clear that it was. There's more reason for me to believe that Hillary may not be her, or that there's more reason for me to believe that Hillary wouldn't be at her potential worst than it is for me to believe that Trump will be at his best. The way I see it, Hillary just has to not be terrible, and she'll be good enough for now. And we get Bernie himself, or I mean, he'll be almost 80 by that point. So maybe Bernie Jr. But we we just stall some time and make sure she doesn't fuck anything up.
Just wait until she can't run.
I got you.
That's
what I'm hoping for
the best
too.
plan. Because she shouldn't be able to.
And so that's really what it came down to, is fear of the unknown. I would rather just go, like, things have been bad, but, we're living. And especially in a post-COVID world, at least there's some teeth to that notion. I'm not saying that Hillary would have made things good. I'm saying at that point in time, having the perspective of like, all right, whatever this is going to be more. And we can deal with that. Trump is just, and I'm scared of that. That's all that was. Shout out to Rhett in action. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. I don't know. Is he okay? He seems okay to me. You know the best way to find out is give him a little treat. Welcome to the party.
At all. I don't even know why they're taking so long with this. But that's the way investigations
I
go.
mean, that's government for you.
Yeah,
and I'm
red
sure
tape,
she
red
has
tape,
all the
red tape.
she has all the lawyers in the world that need to put up,
Yeah,
a
she'll
committee
get
to
it.
investigate
Yeah,
this and a
yeah.
hearing for this evidence and this. And
she'll get up there and go, "Ah, ah," you know how it sounds.
Oh man, she is so bad. I don't want to dump on her too hard in case I have to support her and which I did and whatever. But like,
Go
she just
hard,
tries
bro.
So hard. Like I see her on
Tell
Twitter,
the
like,
fucking truth.
putting out like Spanish tweets, like trying to get the Latino vote.
Oh yeah.
Or the whole.
You don't see Trump doing any of that. I mean, he's on Twitter as much as anybody.
No, I'm being absolutely. I agree with the fact that it's an immature answer. I was an immature person at the time, and I made immature choices. At the time, I wasn't making an excuse. I genuinely thought, because the news told me that Hillary would be better, that they would be better. As he said, Trump buying off Hillary in 2010.
What?
I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. So you weren't afraid of the unknown. You can tell that's not what you're thinking. Okay, well then you tell me what I was thinking,
buddy.
That's one thing Trump certainly isn't doing, is trying too hard. That's
Yeah.
But no, I saw a meme of I forget what show it was, but it's Steve Buscemi is in a high school and he's wearing like a red cap and he's trying.
Hello, fellow kids.
Trying to fit in. He's got like a skateboard on his shoulder. He's like, "Hello, fellow kids," or fellows, something like that. And they changed the meme to be Hillary. She's like, "Hello, fellow kids." Just trying to fit in. It's so bad, and it's like, dude, we see what you're doing, and this is why you're losing to a socialist.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that knowing that I support his version of socialism, but knowing that this.
No, I was talking about the first part. Judge, I don't know what you were thinking, but you certainly weren't thinking that, because Hillary was unknown too. That wasn't the perspective that I had. Like I just said, my perception was that Hillary is going to be more of the same, more Obama. That I didn't necessarily like Obama. It was okay, we can deal with this. So I'd rather deal with the demon we know than the one that we don't.
This is America, and how easy it should be to beat Bernie Sanders. But you're not, and giving him not knocking him out of the park is giving him enough of a voice to really get out his message, which is a substantial message.
Too bad it didn't matter because she fucked with the DNC.
So that, and all the polls say that he has a better chance of beating Trump than she does.
The polls.
He's gonna get there.
This is a big week. I mean, it's March 20th.
Oh, there we go. Okay, March 20th. There we go. Wait. Yeah, okay, it would have been March 20th, 2016. Okay.
This is a big week for Bernie. We're expecting.
Absolutely, I had fear. Absolutely. They told us that the world was going to end. They were talking about him having his hands on the nuclear football. What is he going to do? I literally thought the world was going to blow up. That is fear. That is fear. Absolutely, I had fear.
How many states is it? 4 or 5 states. There's like Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Arizona. They're voting this Super Tuesday 5. I don't know why they fucking call every Super Tuesday.
When more than one state votes, so they call it Super Tuesday. Like, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was gonna be like, well, there you go, learn something new.
Probably is. But so if he can clean up, which I think Conover and I were saying as we were going to the first Super Tuesday, that we wanted both Hillary and Trump to do well. We wanted Trump to do well because we wanted him to fragment the Republican Party.
Just says you've come a long way, baby. Dilly to that. Indeed, I haven't. Thank the heavens. Because that is an embarrassing man. I mean, hey, still better than some of y'all motherfuckers, you know what I mean? No, but that is, it's embarrassing, but it's like, I don't have a desire to hide it.
because it's authentic. It was exactly who I was at that time. Shout out to Fat Boy Slim.
She hasn't even started on her yet.
That's
which I'm
interesting.
kind of
But
interested in.
which is the other reason we wanted Hillary to do well,
Yeah.
was so that she would take the brunt of the attacks from the Republicans, which is exactly what's been going on. So now,
Yeah, the Republicans, they don't touch Bernie.
because,
No,
yeah,
don't say anything.
Yeah.
About it. I'll admit
because
that.
they knew they didn't need to. If Cruz and Bernie had really cleaned up, if they were the leaders at this point, it would be a very different campaign. It would be a very different race. I think you would see a lot
It'd
more.
be even more opposite than it is right now.
But I think it would be a bit more substantial in the sense that there would be more policy talk, I think.
Of course it would.
And because they're so opposed, it's easier to talk about.
I meant from their views.
Right,
Cruz,
exactly.
who's a big time conservative, and you got Bernie Sanders. Who's
Exactly. So there's a lot of things to say that aren't that are substantial. That if you stand with Cruz for good reason, why you wouldn't like Bernie, and vice versa. If you stand with Bernie for good reason, there's reason why you wouldn't want. So that would make for a good debate. And personally, I think of even though Bernie's been a politician for the last 40, 50 years, I we think of him as an outsider, and we think of him as that guy who tells it like it is. And you put Cruz next to Bernie, and Bernie would cut right through him.
Yeah,
I mean, you're getting filet mignon right there.
Yeah.
Trump would definitely put up a fight, and whether it was a fair fight or a dirty fight.
Oh, I think it'd be.
He's gonna go down swinging, or he's not gonna go down at all. Basically,
Yeah.
he's not. Don't put it past him.
I just think I have hope that Bernie can appeal to the same thing that Trump has appealed to in people by doing these caricature things on stage.
Right.
By his actual positions. And if he can convince people that they should be mad, they should be looking for somebody who's going to change things up. But Trump is not the one you should be looking at. I think Trump will go the way it is. This is a test. Trump and Hillary being the leaders. We're being tested. I think a lot will be teased out about why we need somebody to take on the establishment, which will work in Bernie's favor. Because you mean Trump's favor? Simply put, in my opinion, simply put, there's just more substance to Bernie's position than there is Trump's. So there's more to go on, and it's just a matter of whether or not you agree with the changes he's going to make, and you can understand and accept the Bernie would not make any changes. Context in which they would occur. If you can accept that you're willing to pay 2% higher taxes and everybody gets universal health care. If you have a baby, that you and your wife get 3 months off to be with your child and things like that. If you believe that, as we do, that those things are practical, given a drastic change in our outlook, then I think he can make that case. I don't know that I can very well, but I think he can. Clearly. I think Bernie, you put him on a stage with Trump, with Cruz, then he'll a lot to say. Bernie, And I mean, I want to trust in myself that if we had seen Bernie on the stage with Hillary and Trump, and at some point where it was narrowed down, then things would have been very different in a number of ways. But I also think my perception may have changed a lot. I think the handling of those types of events, it took me a little bit longer to see what a skill that was and how important that was. Maybe I would have seen it earlier. Who knows? Seeing them side by side, though, would have been really good for me personally. Hillary is caught up in a lot of rhetoric.
Oh, absolutely.
Where were you in '93 where I was fighting for the health bill? Bill,
she sounds like a cat on steroids.
Yeah, but she asked that, and it was funny. Wait till you meet Kamala Harris. Bill Maher.
That's a Trump supporter.
Wait, I missed it. I missed the joke. Bill,
she sounds like a cat on steroids.
Yeah, but she asked that, and it was funny on Bill Maher.
That's a Trump supporter.
Bill Maher called her out on that. He said, "Where were you? But when I was fighting for the healthcare bill in '93," then brings up the picture where he's standing right behind her. And he goes, "Yeah, Hillary was never good at knowing what men were doing behind her back." Oh, good one from Bill Maher. Shout out to Mike W. Welcome to the party. So I wanted Ted Cruz back then. I'm so glad he didn't win. Trump has done such a good job of destroying the mindset the Republican Party for the better. Absolutely. Pleasure to see you, sir. Pleasure to see you. Leslie said the Congress would never go along with Bernie. Unfortunately, the same will be the case for MAGA. They are called Do Nothing caucuses. Well, yeah, but now we got the House and the Senate at least for 2 years. Just there was plenty of information. If you chose to ignore it or get swindled by Rachel Rumpelstiltskin Maddow, that's your problem. So no, your position was not reasonable. Those are two different things. Those are two different things. Whether it was correct is not based on if I didn't. It's not that I chose to ignore things. I didn't know to look further. And so if I didn't know to look further, what else would what would be expected of somebody who doesn't know to look further to do? And clearly, I eventually came around. Fair enough. Like I said, in 2020, Bernie won Iowa in the Democratic primary, but the oligarchs paid media to just say Buttigieg won. You know, they did not like him.
Awesome.
Got him.
That is awesome. That will be really interesting to see how Bernie.
I agree that the position wasn't reasonable. I disagree that holding the position wasn't reasonable. It made sense for that guy at that time to think those things because he didn't know any better.
Holds up in that.
Number one, just to see him on that
That's what I was
stage.
just gonna say.
To
In that
give
venue.
him we're at 50-50, so somebody break the tie.
With those other guys, Trump, Cruz.
Well, it puts him on a level.
Yeah,
Right.
It gives him a
Right.
level of
Exactly.
legitimacy and
We'll see how he does.
and oh man, I
There
like
is big boy. You
he's
know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he's
it
been,
is.
yeah,
This-
this
yeah,
is it.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
he's been doing this and doing it well and doing it based on reason, logic, rationale, appealing to the needs and wants of the people that he's supporting.
I'll admit he needs more media coverage. If the media wasn't constantly trying to crucify Trump and they looked at him a little more, maybe he would have more.
Yeah,
votes.
I had to watch his. Yeah, but more coverage would just shine more light on his bad ideas that nobody would hop onto. His rally in Arizona last night on YouTube Live because it wasn't covered. They, like I said, the establishment has just decided they're going with Hillary,
Yep.
and Fox News has decided that Trump is
He
going
still
to
has
win
that-
and that he is a monster that they can't allow.
Well, that's I don't know why the Republican Party is trying to drive him out. He's the front runner, and you're going to try to do everything you can to stop the guy. And then if that happens, if a contested convention happens, and
Riots are going to break out.
well, no, I'm not saying. I'm saying you're pretty much handing the
Yeah,
election
yeah.
to her. And,
Oh yeah. Either way, he has torn the Republican Party to pieces,
yeah. Well,
and it's their own fault.
that's their
He didn't.
fault.
He didn't need.
Yeah.
To, he
they
could
never
have.
thought he was going to run. They never thought he was going to file his papers. He did, and then
Nobody took him seriously.
Nobody took him seriously, and he. I remember he started out.
I obviously think that it was reasonable at the time. That's why I held that position. If I thought it wasn't reasonable, then I wouldn't have held the position. I'm guilty of it as well.
He started out too.
I now understand I was wrong and that the position itself is not reasonable, but it is reasonable for the person who I was to hold that wrong position.
Behind Jeb Bush, and then he basically crushed Jeb Bush. And
Oh my God.
I actually feel bad for Jeb Bush.
Dude, he made Jeb Bush's bitch.
Yeah. I do feel a little bad for him, but that's the way it goes sometimes.
I mean, Jeb ran a terrible campaign. He just did
He didn't want anybody to know his last name was Bush. His slogan was Jeb with an exclamation point. He tried.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
Can you imagine those discussions at the Thanksgiving?
Oh,
you got George Senior talking to George Junior about how do you
Hey, remember being in the presidency? Remember being in the Oval Office? Oh, Jeb, you never got there.
feel about when we were in office and this came up, and then you got
Jeb's
Jeb
like,
going, pass
"Hey!"
the fucking cranberry sauce.
Yeah, Jeb's not having a good year.
Oh my God.
And is he old? He's younger than W.
Yes.
Right? He's a younger
Oh
boy?
yeah.
Good amount. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't. Oh man, he would. The thing is, though, I think that he kind of probably got it easy. If he was our president, there is no way that the same way that any little thing. Thanks, Obama.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like more Bush.
Yep.
We already. I mean,
I think if Trump
I
wasn't
think-
around, Jeb Bush would still be in this right now.
I
Agreed.
don't disagree.
Big
Yeah,
time.
I agree with you.
Agreed.
I should have said. Do you think it was reasonable for that person to hold a wrong position? That's what I should have. But I think I think he would probably win.
Yeah,
Probably would.
yeah.
With me anyway.
Yeah.
Not only I win. I win. Nomination, but he would have a. I
You
think he
think
would have a.
I think he
decent-
would beat her. I do.
Yeah. I think.
I
Yeah.
don't know that he could beat Bernie again.
Oh, here we go with that.
Look, it's just a matter of, can you sell the socialism? It's just a matter, because if you can sell the fact that it works and that it's not as radical as it seems, then. But it is. Andrew, come on. You fight. I'm literally talking about socialism. You need to do something. There's no other objection to it. It's just if you don't. I was the one who said I should have said it differently. I agree with you. You answered the question properly. That's why I said I should have asked it differently.
I think it's
if you fundamentally either if you fundamentally disagree with spreading the wealth, or if you don't understand his brand of democratic socialism, you're going to count him out as a radical, and he's going to do all these crazy things with money and all this. That's what they want you to think. And the economy and our way of life is going to be over. But if you can get past that, there are no other objections. There is nothing else. There's nothing to object to except his entire ideology. Like, just get past that. That is a viable reason why he would not be a good president.
I think it's hard on him because he's a socialist, and we have one of them a socialist already in office right now, right? Like,
we live in a corporate socialist society as it is. We already have corporate.
This is an outsider. I'm looking from the other side here, but I'm just trying to think what's one of the reasons that he's not why he's behind that. But that's just me. I have no idea.
Well, I certainly underestimated how justifiably what is the word I'm looking for? Like, just how much people really are like, socialism is just like, nope, socialism is bad. Nope. Like, I didn't know any better. People also, again, people don't believe in his foreign policy strength because he talks about diplomacy, whereas Republicans talk about boots on the ground and we got to fight them and we will destroy ISIS. And he has the same. He says we have to destroy ISIS as well. He just has, and just like the wall, his position is just, well, let's take a look at the situation and make sure that going into invading this country without an exit plan is the best option before we do it. I don't know if I was talking about Bernie or if I was talking about Trump. Not saying that there's no problem to be solved. That's quite a leap, and that's quite a false dichotomy to say we either do nothing or we just carpet bomb them, as Ted Cruz wants to do.
Yeah, right. That's his. He loves to say that word.
Oh man, I don't even think he knows what that means. Like, do you understand
what you're? I think he knows all too well what it means.
Saying. Do you understand what you're saying? And again, going back to ISIS, like, this isn't Trump being radical. This is what this guy really believes. Yeah. And you clip that into the thing right after Trump, and you've got, again, thousands new ISIS members. Yep. These people go on ideology, and they don't think rationally.
Yeah, they're religious. They don't know who he is, like we do. We don't, but he's got to sometimes.
Nor do they care. Just like the Lutch who was in that video.
He's got to tone it down, and I think he will as time goes on.
I agree with you, but I just think that's too little, too late. I think the damage has already been done.
Yeah, see that? Me too. I fear the damage.
Because the fact is, we're in the internet age, we're in the digital age. Everything he said, everything going back to that, that People magazine from 1998, where he said he was ever going to run for president, he would be a Republican because those people are so stupid they believe anything on Fox News. Yeah. Well, look what he's doing. Look what he's doing 20 years.
And says the person who believed everything that they saw on mainstream media news. You can't make this shit up.
Later, 18 years later, the fact is, even if he is going to tone it, even if he wins and he is going to tone it down, all the stuff he's already said is already out there. Yeah. So
all the stuff, right? What stuff would that be? Oh, all the things that you heard through some other person who twisted it.
All that's all it takes to radicalize an entire nation.
And, well, see, that's, I think, the huge problem is that the society doesn't care about what he was doing. Okay, fast forward. Okay, and in hindsight, we're not going to care. We're not going to care what he was doing during his campaign. It's going to be what's he doing right now in office. And I think you're right, is what I'm saying. Like, he's doing these things now that have already created a problem or already have caused damage, and it could be irreparable damage. Mm-hmm. And once he's in office, if he does pull it back, he can't do anything about it. But I just,
it's already been said.
Yeah.
And you could. It's so easy. You just pull any soundbite. There's one for each race, color, creed. Yeah. There's one for violence. There's one for this. There's one for that. Anything you need to do against Donald Trump, you just Google. There's probably an archive of soundbites at this point. Clips and quotes. And
I'm sure somebody's making money doing that.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
you could just take him down.
I'm amazed though. Every time you think he says something, all right, that's gonna blow him up, and it doesn't blow him up.
Teflon Don.
Right there you go.
And after the last 8 years, does that not go tenfold? The man was indicted, arrested, convicted, and nothing could stop all of us, including this guy. I don't know. I don't talk to that guy, the co-host, anymore. We quick aside. I was living in the apartment I was living in by myself, and I'd actually lost touch with Conover. They're both named Andrew. So Conover was the co-host, and lost touch with him. And he was the one who introduced me to the stuff. And he eventually graduated to the horsey horse, and kind of fell off the map doing his own thing. Then one day he just hit me up and we started hanging out, and we were always tight. We were always cool. So we just started hanging out. We started the podcast. All that was going on. Then we ended up moving into another place because I was paying out the ass, and he was living at home, and he was just hanging out with me all the time. I was like, yo, let's just fucking save some money. Moved into a place, and then a whole bunch of shit happened. We were in that place. They did not allow dogs. I got some kind of note to allow Morty, but it was near the end of our lease, and they really, the landlord people really did not like that. They didn't want dogs at all. So there were certain ways that you can get around it, but they didn't like it at all. And so I got the note, and they were good. But then the lease ended, and I signed the new lease, or we signed a new lease. They didn't tell us that I needed a new note, so they waited until we signed the lease. Then immediately they were like, okay, you have a dog and you don't have the the whatever, so 30 days and you're out. So I'm like, fuck. All right. Well, so then the next month we're worried about finding a place to live. With 10 days before we have to move out, we still haven't figured things out. And he's like, oh, I think I'm just gonna go live at home. I'm like, bro, I've been looking for 2-bedroom apartment. Like, you're leaving me with 10 days or whatever. So eventually found this place that was way too expensive. And he helped me move in and stuff, and crashed that night. And then his mom picked him up the next morning. And like let's say the door was over here, right? And my room was over here, and he was sleeping like out on the couch or whatever. And so I get up, and because his mom honked the horn. And he just gets up and like just starts walking out the door. She's like, nice living with you for 2 years, bro. Nice doing 30 episodes of a podcast together, bro. You're just not gonna be like, all right, peace out, before you just walk out of my life. And he walked out of my life. So I don't know where he is, but Andrew is still a strong Trump supporter and also likes Vivek. Shout out to John Nada. Welcome. Said Trump and the entire extreme right side are a true danger for the entire world. R.I.P. America. Probably not, though. Right? Probably not, though. Because, if we compare the last 4 years to the previous 4 years. You know what I mean? But, John, I definitely suggest that you subscribe to the channel and see if you can change my mind. But for now, we are headed over to the after party, guys. If you are not a member, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. It's $2.99 a month. That is 12 after parties, including 24/7 access to where we are hanging out. We got movie nights. We got all that kind of stuff. Come over and join us. We are headed over to the after party right now. Thank you, guys. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out. A big thank you to the sponsor of the stream, Funk Master General. Big shout out to everyone else who donated. Every little bit counts, guys. Thank you so very, very much. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you guys. Hey, Gonzak is coming in late. He's like, but I paid myself 20 push-ups. There you go. Thank you so very, very much, guys. I really hope you will join us once again, guys. This is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.